Alright. Hello, everybody. You can hear that fan, I'm sure. Quite loudly, I'm sure. But, we're gonna have to go with it, because today I'm not starting a little, you know, the past 2 weekends. Oh, can I hear myself? Is there an overwrite? No, I think we're fine. Over the past 2 weekends or so, I've started some of the streams about an hour later, just so the sun has more time to set. Today we're actually starting early. And I think next weekend, I'm going to be going out in the evening. And what that means is I'll be starting a stream early next weekend as well. But anyway, we're starting early today, just a little bit. But it's going to be really hot, so I'm going to have the fan on full blast, basically. Loads to talk about. Genuinely, loads and loads and loads to talk about. I have a video going up on YouTube very soon about the Guild Wars 1 AFC, which is like Titanic. Really big, just like the other one we did quite recently. In fact, I've culled a lot of dev responses away where they're not like particularly meaty. So I don't know, we'll see how that goes, but that will be going up hopefully later on tonight. I do have other stuff on the way as well, including the return of the LP. So yeah, there's been quite a lot going on, even though on the front end you haven't seen much this week yet. But it kind of starts today, which is very cool. And I have a ton of other topics too, which I want to get to very soon. So yeah, I'm going to cut to the intro. I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee, tell all your friends that we're live, and yeah, we've got lots of fun things, including I went through quite a few old messages on Discord, on Twitch, on Patreon, on Reddit, on Twitter. I'm like fully caught up for the first time in a long time. I've gone through tons of it. I've noticed that Discord's already built up. I have 9 more, which are responses to things, but I'll get to those later on after the stream, I guess. But yeah, so I will be back in just a moment. We'll do the intro. I'll see you guys all very soon. All right. Hello, 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 hello. I'm here. The coffee took a long time to make. Warm, you've experienced 4 days with sun this summer. Only 4 days? Where are you living? That you've experienced only 4 days during the summer of sun. Anyway, so yeah, hello everybody. Hello, hello. I hope we're all doing good. Let me just scroll through chat and make sure I didn't miss anything. I'll give some nice little highs to people. Stand ground, looking for the schedule right as we went live. NG Pleb, Mikhail M, Bacon's All Mine, Turtle Jesus, Benji, Turtle Moji, Alodus, Engzax, Nuzak, Mila Milk. I love that there are random turtles appearing. Like, it's such a, like, it means nothing and it's completely irrelevant to this community, but now just through the weird way that streams operate, it kind of does mean something. It's strange as all hell. Oh, I've just remembered there's another screenshot I wanted to get for you all. We got to, you know when people go on holiday and they give you a slideshow of pictures and it's really boring. Yeah, we're gonna do that here today. It's gonna be great. I want to talk about a wide range of different things. I just need to find a specific person on Reddit because I have the web page open on my laptop, but I don't have it anywhere else. There we go, found it. All right. Okay, so I almost tweeted about this, but I don't know whether people really care for me to talk about this kind of stuff on Twitter. I mean, I was really close to tweeting it, but I couldn't be concise enough on Twitter to get through the whole thing, really. So it just would have looked a bit weird. But all right, so first of all, yes, hello everybody. We're going to be doing Path of Fire. We're going to be finishing up the story playthrough, and specifically that means we're going to be doing a bit of corner. Not corner. What am I talking about? Vabby. Did I say corner in my video where I announced this stream? Anyway, we're going to be going to the garden and we're going to be looking at this. We already did the necropolis, the polis, and we did the palace, the polis and the palace. We're also going to do the academy and make sure we get that really essentially important dynamic event where we see Joko taking credit for everything. And then once we beat Balthazar and we've done the story, we're going to do the epilogue and stuff. And possibly if we have time, we'll start looking at the Chantry. Not the Chantry. The, you know, the whatever. The Sunspear place. The plateau. The Anna plateau with Talcora and stuff. And we'll see how the account binding has robbed us of content in that area. But yeah, once we're done with that, I think, generally speaking, we'll then be open for whatever our next project might be. So yeah. Back over to chat. We've had a ton of people subbing today. Is it like the renewal of the month? It's the middle of the month, so how comes lots of people have done that here today? In any case, let me just thank everybody who did. Anve, it's great to see you. Just says hi. Nice, short, sweet. 17 months in a row, Anve. Keep it going. I think Oxy just followed me. So hello, Oxy. It's good to see you. Aqua Endercore. 2 months in a row. MMO Shards. First heard of the Crayon Law series while watching the No Skills VOD. I started watching it and it's pretty good. I'm surprised it didn't pay off, to be honest. Oh, thanks, man. That's a series, you know, I've got so many failed projects, essentially. That's a series that I very much, like, almost, I wouldn't say fully cringe at thinking about, but it's like, oh, no, that was probably really bad. I'm glad you say you liked it. I don't know. It's very, very difficult to make it, right? And that's just another example of me being like everyone else in the world. You try something and it doesn't really pay off. I don't know. I'm glad you think it was pretty good. Maybe I should look back at it and have a bit more faith that I had some quality there. Anyway, Blackbird, it's good to see you. Nuzak, it's good to see you. Benji, look at all of this. It's like sub-renewal day. MKDHDH says hooray. Look at that. Some of you guys using Prime. Remember, Prime is free. So if you guys want to appear on this list, there's a button you can click. And for free, become a sub. And you get emotes. You get Guild Wars 1 skill icons. People can spam those. If you like Guild Wars 1 skills, you can put those anywhere on Twitch or Discord. You get badges, and it makes me happy. So there you go. Anyway, all right. Let me scroll down. Yeah, I was getting cat coffee. Alas, alas, how time must pass. Ancient magical friend, so terrible, so dreadful, that so treasured should so end. What's that a quote from? Is that Shakespeare? Benji? Is it Shakespeare? Oh, you're from Iceland, that's why. Okay, yeah, I was thinking if you go far enough up north. You wasn't expecting me to look like this. Yeah, that's the closest representation to me that you'll find on Twitch. Yeah, you're so Star Shock, Benji. I've never read your name on a stream before. What's up with the LP? It's just been on hold while drama and the new releases come out, and I've been playing and doing that stuff and PvPing and whatnot. And it will come back this time next week's stream. You should have seen several episodes. So, have you seen the item Heroic Ashes from the new back piece? It's really strange. No, I haven't. I'll click your wiki link though and see what comes up. Discussion page. Whose ashes? Heroic. You think it's Althea's ashes? I don't know. I mean, that was just a big ritualist thing. I don't know. I think I've lost context for what's interesting about that. But yeah, have I done the Jin meta yet? The Jin? You mean in Vabi? Oh, on the streams. You mean for the story playthrough? Have I done this? No, I don't know whether that's actually Golden Path. I don't know whether that's that important for Path of Fire. We will if it's up and it's ready. In fact, because a lot of the stuff will be open world right here, I will create a squad. You guys can play with me if you like. You've got all the time in the world to join. All you have to do is type into your chat box this /squad join spacebar and then Liz, LYS. That's it. That's all you have to do. Or you can substitute Liz for Natalie, but it's a longer word and that's more likely you'll spell it wrong. But yeah, you guys can play. I open my options here to check my ping. I'm on NA, and I can't be bothered to swap, so it'll be an NA stream today if you want to do that stuff in open mod. I know 99% of our viewers are EU, it feels like some days, but yeah. Alright, scrolling. YWP hates so much account-bound things. Account progress in the game is the first thing I like in this game. Smiley face. Now, that's coming from Doomat, who I know has watched many of my streams and is very likely trolling. Especially with the smiley face. He's just trying to bait me into a rant. But I won't go into a rant. It speaks for itself. We are denied content. I thought whoever gave the egg to the Master of Peace must be Blast, because who else would it be? But then they never said anything about it, and Path of Fire is so confusing. Yeah, you know, as I said, I've just produced a video on the Guild Wars 1 AFC, right, which you will see soon. And it occurred to me there's another mystery that wasn't resolved. I talked about this a lot last weekend as we were dealing with Joko. There's so many mysteries and elements of his backstory that they haven't answered. And remember the mysterious stranger that Zin met and blah, blah, blah? You would have thought they'd have some confirmation now that it was Joko. No, they didn't really. Or did they in Draconis Mons? Did they jab at it a bit further? Or they weren't explicit, were they? Maybe they were. Anyway. There you go. There's the skill icons. WP trying to pronounce a name that's not supposed to be pronounced. MKDH. I didn't really pronounce it. I just read the letters out. Thank you very much, Podo Pilgrim. That's very sweet of you. When will it return? Some point next week during the week. And then hopefully there won't be any other hiatuses until the next episode comes out, which will be 3 months at least. And in 3 months of progress, we could be done with the whole thing. We could have beaten Zaitan, at least for core. And once the core story's done, what might be nice is if core finishes when episode 4 releases. If it lines up like that, about 3 months. I mean, core should finish before that, to be honest. Long before that. Anyway, once core finishes, I do have the Super Adventure Box playthrough that's currently only available for Patreon people, and that will bridge the gap. So we shouldn't see any hiatuses because that can pad out the middle. And we already, yeah, we're about 3 weeks since now as well. I mean, the break has been longer than I wanted it to be. What can I say? There was also the JP stuff really kind of took a lot out of took a lot of wind out of my sails, I have to say. Made me want to hide from the internet for a while. Yeah, okay, Zin did say it was Joko. If getting tricked by Joko was the low point of my career, this would be the high point. I'm ecstatic. So I still think, though, that it's a failing of this Living World season to not have Joko mention Zin in any capacity through... I mean, it's Corner's fault. It's that Corner doesn't have the extra lore, the lore books and things, the suggestions. Yeah, the festival, I know the festival's another big release. Basically, it's a huge release, really, in my opinion. But I'm not going to let that affect the LP speed, or I'm trying my best not to. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I mean, I did video on that this week as well, so in that sense, it might have slowed the LP down, but yeah. All right, anyway, right, these other topics. So, what have I got? What have I got? I wrote a list of little things to talk about. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about PvP, and I want to talk a little bit about item rarity. So don't worry, it's not actually about PvP, it's about loot, and it's about player base, and it's about population. And those of you who are constantly looking for smug ways to be happy about the size of Guild Wars 2's population and crying PvP is dead, believe me, you're going to enjoy this conversation. If you're a believer that PvP is dead and you want everybody to know it, then here's your day in the sun, alright? So, as you know, this week I've been playing a lot more. I've been doing Soul Beast, I've been doing Rev Qs. Mediocre gameplay through all of them, really, to be honest. But, what am I right now? I was almost Plat 3 earlier. I'm dropping again now. But anyway, I've been getting my shards and stuff, and I'm almost caught up with the obsidian weapons. So just a little story here for those of you who are out of the loop. Obsidian weapons are currently the big premium goal for real PvPers. People who play ranked get ascended shards, and mostly what you can do with the ascended shards after a point, after you've made your back piece and done some of the shallow sinks, which frankly most of the community's on. Once you're done the shallow sinks, you can use those shards on making legendary armor, or you can build this set of weapons, the obsidian weapons. And there's 4 of every type of weapon in the set. It takes a lot of work to get them, a lot of shards. It takes 600 shards to finish one of these sections, basically. And every big PvP patch, the devs are throwing more of them in. So there's still a couple that don't exist. The torch isn't it? No, the torch is. What's not in? Pistol, maybe? Pistol hasn't been added yet. There's just a couple of really, really minor weapons that's still on here. Maybe rifle isn't in. It's largely huntsman stuff. Short bow as well, I think, isn't in. Yeah, so that's 3 of them. Anyway, the devs keep adding them, and I PvP enough, I know life enough, that I can actually keep up with this, just about. And so instead of making legendary armor, I've been building this set out. And so there's, you know, there's all these different skins. They tier up, they change colors based on circumstance. That's a really boring one. A lot of you guys, I get lots of questions on the stream when I'm playing my Rev. Hey, what sword is that, WP? Because just so few people know about these weapons, or what they look like, or how they feel, and the effects and stuff on them. So anyway, I've got them all, except the top tier hammer, which I need 400 more shards for. But once I've got that, and I do anticipate having that by the end of the season, I'm done with the collection again. So I've got all of them. Now, I was linked to an area of Guild Wars 2 efficiency during the week for unlock statistics. So basically, this is an area on efficiency that shows you how many people of the entire Guild Wars 2 player base, asterisk, that's on Guild Wars 2 efficiency, asterisk, has unlocked. So it will tell you that there are like 400,000 players on Guild Wars 2 efficiency, and of the 400,000 players that are on efficiency, this percentage of them have whatever you want. Astralaria. This percentage of them have this achievement. This percentage of them have this amount of the map unlocked. This percentage of them have this unlocked. This percentage of them have this amount of AP. And on, this number of deaths, and on and on and on. And it leaderboard stuff or whatever. But you can look for an unlock statistic of anything you like, really. And someone showed me unlock statistics of one thing or another. So you might be wondering, what are the unlock statistics for this? Now, I reiterate, this is like the PvP reward, realistically. A lot of people don't like the way that they look and stuff, so that's obviously going to affect the unlock statistics. But anyone who's got in a lot of ascended shards, unless they're just like, I don't know, some people do more than enough, more people than I'd like to admit do this. Unless they're just hoarding the currencies and trying to ironically be like, nah, I hate our rewards, which you do see a lot. But people who are actually interfacing with Guild Wars' reward systems, how many of them actually are getting these weapons? Well, I can show you. And it kind of blew my mind. So, I took a screenshot just before the stream. And here it is. So, these are the unlock statistics for the obsidian things. So, on first of all, look at the far right column. The green ticks mean I have it. Okay, so I have all of these except the 2 hammers. The 2 red crosses, they're the hammers I just showed you in game. So yeah, this is the list of just a selection of the obsidian ones. These are the rarer ones in the player base, and you'll see that across all of the people, 0.01% have the focus. There are 20 players in all of Guild Wars 2 that have actually gone for the focus, that are on efficiency. There are 21 with the longbow. There are 36 with the hammer. The pistol appears on the list there. I guess the pistol is in. I must have made a mistake. The pistol is in. It says that 41 people have the pistol. And then the scepter underneath, and it goes on like this. So just to give you some perspective, even beyond that, how few people are actually going for this. You know, there's that joke where it's like, people play PvP. Yeah, everybody's doing it. There are dozens of us. There's not even dozens of us. You can't even say there's dozens of us for some of these weapons. There's literally not 24 people with the focus. There's a dozen plus a couple. And then so you might be wondering, okay, what else in the game is like this? This is a list of the rarest skins in all of Guild Wars 2. The rarest skins, the least unlocked things in the entirety of this MMO. That the fewest players have. So let's see. The top 4 of the rarest things. Well, you've got a broken item called backpack straps that 0% of the player base has. No one has that. It's a bugged item. It's not... I mean, backpack straps do exist, but there's not a skin on them, right? So it's just a thing. Iron Fist, another bug. 0 people have that. 2 pieces of rev gear from Heart of Thorns that you may recognize. The Mistward plate and the Mistward war boots. Which it says 14 people have, apparently. But that's clearly like a bugged, duped version of a real item. So that's all bugged. So the 4 rarest things according to efficiency are bugged. That's armor and weapons, by the way. This is all skins. They're bugged, and then underneath is literally the focus. The Mist Obsidian Focus is the rarest skin in the game. And that kind of blew my mind. I had no idea there were only 20 people still doing this. Now, the focus was only just added, so you can say, oh, well, WP, the reason why the focus is so low is because it's only like 3 months old, or whatever it is. But it's been... When did the season... So let's go back in game here. The season started Tuesday, June the 12th. And I think it got added around then, didn't it? Or maybe it was when Corner came out, so it's been like 3 weeks that it's been in the game. But yeah, it's kind of nuts, actually, I think. And so just to look back at it, then I wonder... I'll show you what the focus looks like, because a lot of you will be curious. Whoa, wait, where is it? Why don't I see the focus here? Scepter start... Here you go, focus. So here's the basic one. We'll go weapon only. There's the basic one. There's the... oh, no, that's the more basic one, I think. And then this is the blue variant. And then that's the more basic one as well. And obviously it glows. You can't see the glow in the preview, unfortunately, which might affect why people have got it a bit less. You can see it slightly there, a little bit of the glow. And I mean, I'm not trying to say they're good items, and I know the fact that they don't look very good is going to impact things. But I think that's really telling of a ton of different stories. You know, the worth of dev efforts when the skins don't even look that good. Like, what value has this got? The artists making this, the work and coding to implement it, what value actually is it to the game? When no one cares. I'll be very curious when they finish the set if they add a collection. A collection with like some kind of fancy PvP title or back piece as the reward. Like an obsidian back piece that you can only get when you have all the obsidian weapons. I think could be really good. That final piece, that bow on the end, might be amazing for the set. But right now, you know, I don't know what value it's had for Guild Wars, really. If you look up ugly in the dictionary, it will show you a picture of the obsidian weapons. I mean, as you all know, I don't really have great Fashion Wars taste, so I'm not going to presume to care that much. I mean, I've always been very clear. I don't really care about how things look. I care about rarity, I care about tangible rewards, and I care about reward for my... Well, no. What's the time? I think this looks all right. This looks cool to me because I know basically no one has it. This is cool to me because when I run it on stream, people are like, wow, what's that bow? I've never seen it before. I stand out. That's all I want to do. I don't care if I look like an idiot in rainbow coloring or whatever, as long as I stand out. If other people hadn't already made grossly ugly characters, I would be running around permanently looking like them. But, you know, like look at Natalie. It used to be a novelty the way that Natalie looks. Now I mostly have the headpiece on and stuff because I don't really care about standing out in that way. You know, that's what I care about more in MMOs. Just having the rare thing, having the special thing. I want to be a snowflake. And so the actual look of the weapons doesn't matter much to me. So then it's kind of revealing for me to realize that very few people must think like me. Very few people must think like me. Because the fact that there's so few people having this, you would think it would balance itself out. But no, people really just care about how things look. I mean, I'm going to be a bit judgy here, but that seems like such a shallow... I mean, maybe my perspective's pretty shallow too. I don't know. I think this stuff looks alright. It doesn't look that bad. Anyway, yeah, I think I talked myself off of another talking point that I was going to go on to with this. What was it? Yeah, I don't know. The collection and obsidian thing. Oh, yeah, one final note I would make is I do kind of love that. So in Guild Wars 1, the ultimate prestige, what was it, guys? What was the ultimate prestige in Guild Wars 1? It was obsidian armor. Obsidian armor. And just like legendaries do in Guild Wars 2 now, eventually lots of people had obsidian armor and it wasn't really rare. You weren't a snowflake anymore. But that was the ultimate snowflake experience in Guild Wars 1. If you grinded enough to have obsidian armor in the first few months of when prophecies came out and whatnot, you were awesome. Obsidian armor was the big dick. And I kind of like that this is obsidian weapons in Guild Wars 2 are like the big snowflake. You know? You know, I think it would be incredible. It would cause rage on the forums, but the health of the game, I think, would be amazing. Imagine if they locked obsidian armor behind getting all of the obsidian weapons first. Do you know how much that would for Guild? And they made the. Imagine if the obsidian Guild Wars 2 obsidian armor looked amazing and was like the tier 2 legendary armor. All right, just imagine that. You get tier 2 legendary armor. It's obsidian armor, and it's got the transformation, but it looks really good. And they lock it behind the competitive mode. They lock it behind ranked PvP queues, and you have to get all the obsidian weapons first. That would be amazing to me. One, because I'd get the armor straight away, because I've been no-lifing PvP anyway. Also, because there's only 20 people that would be in that position right now. Also, because it would be amazing for the health of PvP, because it would be such a ridiculous, tangible reward. I think that would be amazing. It would cause so much whining, but I think it would be amazing. Anyway, yeah, so PvP weapons. I thought I'd just show it off and just give you guys some perspective on how rare that is. A bit more perspective. On Guild Wars 2 efficiency, if you search for something like Astralaria, it's not like, oh, there's only 40 people with Astralaria, or 100 people, or 200 people, or 1,000 people. It's like 40,000 people have Astralaria. 22 people have this. You know, it's that level. And by the way, it's not all about aesthetics. That's what I wanted to talk about. It's not all about aesthetics. It's the real story here, and what I really want to point out, that the real story, and if you go back to my PvP 0 to Hero, I did a couple of streams on PvP 0 to Hero, right? Where I made a new, fresh account, and I sampled competitive PvP on a free-to-play account as a new experience for a Path of Fire player. And it goes back to many of the elements we discussed when it comes to Corteria, which is that the new player experience and the UX experience and the guiding of players through Guild Wars 2's systems is atrocious. So it's not just about how the obsidian weapons look. It's about how people are made aware of their existence. It's about how they're buried and obfuscated in weird vendors through multiple vendor tabs, through multiple currencies that you have to buy the exotic and then you have to buy the later. You have to interact with the marks, and there's no proper tutorialization or leading line through the reward systems that gets people to the obsidian set at the end. It's that more than the way the obsidian weapons work. It's that there's no like endorphin release as you go through that process, unless you're a real like veteran and try hard at Guild Wars 2 that's exhausted every vendor and looked at all that stuff. That's a huge part of it, I think, anyway. Meanwhile, when you look at something like Astralaria, which is harder to get, it's harder to get Astralaria than one obsidian weapon, obviously, but people understand legendaries. The community talks about legendaries in a healthy way. They're reasonably better presented through collections. They're reasonably better integrated through masteries, making players aware of their existence. All of that stuff is like much clearer in the community's mind and new players' minds, so they're led into it. People aren't led into the obsidian weapons because it's so poorly handled, right? And that's the real story to me. That's what actually needs to be looked at. It's not just about how they look. And I think it's really interesting that if the devs stop looking at their baseline and create that through line, if they don't pay attention to that, you can slap any reward you want on the end, and there will only be a few of us losers, not even dozens of us that go for them. I mean, I'm sure eventually there will be like 100 people with the obsidian focus. This stream even might encourage you guys to buy one. And I could easily, just through me, I could double or even triple the number of obsidian foci that there are just by talking about it in a video. Not necessarily a stream, because streams are really small, but videos, I could do that. But, you know, I think it's on the devs to fix those things. Anyway, that's just topic one. That's just topic one. All right. I'll move on before the resident sleepers start coming out.
Free citizens of Amnoon, your council
Oh yeah, Benji, the Stellar and Astral stuff dwarf the Obsidian stuff. The Stellar and Astral stuff are another rare set. So if you guys go to Guild Wars 2 efficiency, you can do your own research now. Go to stats and then unlock statistics. You can search anything you want in the game. The Stellar and Astral stuff, I think, are in the orders of thousands at least. Thousands of people have them. And they're notoriously rare as a set. This is what the Obsidian set is like. I've been watching your Visual Wood series and the past 3-month break. Is there a reason for not talking about Guild Wars 2 and Season 2 after the break? Is it because Matt stopped playing, or is it because you were doing videos about Season 2 on your own? Yeah, between the two of us, I can't really remember the full specifics anymore, but between the two of us, there was a decision and an idea that we could have Guild Wars 2 topics be covered in their place on our channels, and there was no point rehashing and going over it again and again and again on the podcast and sort of cannibalizing our own stuff, and we could use the podcast to talk about another range of topics. I think my motivation was slightly different to Matt's motivation. I've always wanted to be about more than Guild Wars, and, you know, like we were talking about Crown Law earlier. So I had that going on. I also had a thing like I have on streams now, where I talk about something on a stream, and it means I don't make videos about it anymore. Like that little rant I just did there on the Obsidian things. Maybe, if I was not a streamer, maybe might have been a video. Just a fun little, you know, 10-minute thing, and some people might want to watch it, some people might. But instead now I just spit it out in front of a couple of you, and then it's lost to the ether. Streams were supposed to help me make videos and increase videos, but I sort of cannibalized things myself. And that was happening with the podcast too. I was talking about stuff on the podcast, and then I didn't want to make a video on it anymore. So I was happy to separate the two on my end too. But yeah. Anyway, stop distracting me, chat. Right, let's move on. I was going through some comments on Twitch. Is a Jules in chat? Is a Jules around? So I saw a really old Twitch message. I just wanted to read out. It was from some dying. A Jules says, "Oh wow, you looked at the dye job, lol, thanks. It's truly a masterful fashion. You see, Wooden Potatoes, I am a fashion artist. I spend my time judging and critiquing others out of it who don't understand the mastery of fashion. True fashion is only understood by those who are part of the elite like myself. This dye job is just an example of a masterpiece. It evokes freedom and America in very subtle ways." So I think that's remarking maybe the dye job we're currently wearing, or one of the previous ones on this stream. And I missed that masterpiece of a comment. So yeah, there you go. Enjoy. I thought I'd read that. Another thing, I had some fan art. I think I've got a tweet that looks really awesome, and I've not clicked it yet. But I had some fan art on Twitch as well, and I don't get fan art anymore, and it makes me really sad because I've got an archive where every piece of fan art I've ever been created, I've done. So Alpha X Neo, are you around? They did some fan art a while ago. This was from the No Skill Challenge. This is our pet, Commander 2, the Jacaranda. I drew this after watching the Wooden Potatoes No Skill Challenge not too long ago, and as we all know, Commander 2 was the real hero of the story, and boy, was it hard to find some good Jacaranda references while commuting. So, what, you drew this on a train or something? Anyway, there you go, Jacaranda, aka Commander 2, yo, real MVP of the No Skill Challenge. That's awesome, man. Listen, anyone who does something like this... I feel like such a dick for missing this comment. I'm really sorry that I missed this. I'm really sorry that I didn't know that this existed. This honestly makes me really, really, really happy. You got no idea. Anyone that does anything like this is awesome. So I just wanted to say thank you, basically. But yeah, the Jacaranda basically soloed the entirety of Corteria. If you guys didn't watch those streams, I think they're already all up on Wooden Potatoes too. It's about 15 hours of gameplay there. But yeah, so we got that. What else was there? A little mention that Spud 1 has got 2 race courses now, and we're going to be doing a tour of the second course probably next weekend. But also in 2 weeks we are moving Spud 1. So listen, guys, we do have space in both guilds. We've got a dedicated NA guild, a dedicated EU. We have space in both. Lost Precipice has been Spud 1's guild for ages now, and we are moving finally 1 year after the expansion came out to the new hall. So any Spud 1 members, it's happening in about 2 weeks. I'll talk about that more soon, but if you want to enjoy that, just everybody be aware, I wanted to throw that out. And finally, just before we get into the story, I had one more thing. Now, that was the screenshot I took at the start of the stream here. Do you remember we talked... I can't believe this has become a serious thing now. Last time we were doing the Path to Fire playthrough, we were at the... Let's go back to Vabi here. We were at the Vengeance Palace, I think it was. And we would... I don't know. I as a joke, I tried to make myself sound like a nerd or something. But we ended up talking about the ship of Theseus when it came to MMO design and video games. And something really amazing struck me about that. So let me just... I just want to do a bit of a story here for you all. This is what I wanted to tweet, but in the end I didn't. So I thought, fine, I'll throw it on a stream. So listen. I'm going to read to you the thought experiment first for those of you who don't know it. And we're going to do it properly here. I'm going to also mute the dialogue of these chattering Vabians, which is awesome, by the way. All right. Okay. The thought experiment. So here's a thought experiment for you all, guys. Just think about this, okay? This is just a question to be posed. So, first, suppose that the famous ship sailed by the hero Theseus in a great battle has been kept in a harbour as a museum piece. Okay, so you don't actually know, you need to know about Theseus or the circumstance of his ship or anything like that. Just imagine you've got this famous ship, it's been in a great battle, and it's now in a harbour as a museum piece, okay? As the years go by, some of the wooden parts begin to rot, and they are replaced by new wooden parts. After a century or so, all of the parts have been replaced. Now, here's the question. Is this restored ship still the same object as the original? Okay. Now, we talked about this on the stream before, and we talked about how Soma, if you guys have played that game, 2015 release, my game of the year 2015 easily, is basically a video game dealing with the ship of Theseus when it comes to human biology. Okay, but that's the start. So is the ship the same as the original? Okay, now you can make it even more interesting. Here's a second question you can pose. Listen to this. Suppose that each of those removed rotting pieces were, instead of being destroyed, stored in a warehouse. And after the centuries go by, technology develops to cure their rotting and enable them to be put back together to make a ship. Is this reconstructed ship the original ship? And if so, is the restored ship in the harbor still the original too? Okay, so any of you saying yes or no are wrong. There is no yes or no answer. It depends on what scale or how broadly you look at the picture. Okay, so that's the ship of Theseus. Now you can go into various proposals. On Wiki it lists that there's one about identity over time. There's another one, continual identity over time via final cause. There's a discussion about having one ship in two locations, two ships with non-transitive identity, non-atomic logic, definitions of the same. But there's all these different things, and I'm not the man to go into that, all right? But it's an interesting question to then apply to video games, and especially like lifestyle games and games that are continually being developed. This wasn't a question during, the early console days, but it is a question very much in gaming of today, where so many products are continuously being updated and updated. The basic premise is, when we put this through the lens of Guild Wars 2, is Guild Wars 2 the same game as it was when it released? Is it still Guild Wars 2? Well, in some senses, yes. In some senses, no. What if we re-release the original Guild Wars 2? Is that now is it two games in the same place at once? These are very real questions and really exciting questions, especially in the MMO space, because of these updates, because of stuff like old school RuneScape, because of stuff like the re-release of WoW Classic and what Blizzard are doing. It's kind of amazing. And we just waffled this out and almost randomly wandered into this. It's a cool thought. So and it comes into the idea of what kind of revamps should a game developer actually allow themselves to do. So that was the previous stream. Okay, now during the week there's been a lot of reveals from the game Stellaris, which you guys know I'm a big fan of and I follow very closely, even though I don't really stream it or talk about it in any real terms. But basically Stellaris is it's nothing to do with Guild Wars. It's a big space game. It's kind of a hybrid of Grand Strategy and 4X. And what's really important about Stellaris for this conversation is it's developed by Paradox Studios, who have a very interesting business model that I'm falling in love with. And it's basically, especially for Stellaris, some of their other products, they've not done this quite perfectly. But basically, what they do is they just crank out tons of DLC, reasonably high price DLC, and as long and people buy it, and that funds core mechanical changes to the game. So they do these patches, like the 2.0 patch or the 1.9 patch or 2.1. They do these patches, but the patches are enormous and gut the game and change it in fundamental ways. All of that's free. Everything about their big changes is 100% free. And then at the same time as they release one of these big patches that massively overhauls stuff, they'll do like a DLC that costs a reasonable amount and doesn't even add that much. So like, oh, you can play a new race, give us a tenner, right? And that model, you can choose to pay for the DLCs or not. Either way, you get the free big updates and the DLCs fund it. But what's really incredible about it is just how far they will go to change their game. And it's amazing because I see the soul of ArenaNet in other companies now, and I know that sounds really stupid, but what was amazing, or supposed to be amazing, about Guild Wars 2 was just like a ruthlessness from the development team and an unflinching fear to change and just remove stuff that wasn't working and just go for it, you know? And that created incredible successes in some places. It created dodgy results in others, like their weird nebulous ideas about the Trinity. It created disasters in other places, like Living World Season 1, and I'm not afraid to say that. Disasters in some places. But now you find all of that's gone from Guild Wars, really, I think. That ruthlessness I wouldn't ever really think about with Guild Wars anymore. And it's almost rude. It feels wrong for me to criticize ArenaNet for that, because I was very much one of those players saying, stop revamping stuff, just build on what you've got. Please stop revamping stuff, just build on what you've got. Lots of us screamed that. And then we got Heart of Thorns and we got Path of Fire and stuff, and that's what they've been doing. But the ruthlessness is now gone, and so you have me whining about not having a Corteria overhaul, or whining about Obsidian weapons in PvP because it's so poorly described to the player base how to get them and what's excited about them, and blah, blah, blah. You have people whining about the lack of build templates and itemization and the way that achievements are being used for the be-all and end-all. You have us whining about that now, and the ruthlessness is gone from ArenaNet, and we don't really have any faith that they'll change them. So anyway, I want to show you a company that still is ruthless. And it's beautiful. Let me show you some quotes about this whole Ship of Theseus thing over on Paradox Development and Stellaris. All right? So, and this is what I was trying to do a tweet about. And obviously, it's too much for the tweet. But here, check it out. So, basically, they announced this week they're completely changing the way that planet tiles work. They're just destroying tiles, which is a huge part of the game, all right? I won't go into specifics. They're removing a huge element of the game, like 3 years after release or something. 2 years? So it's mental. And here's a comment from the thread. Most people generally excited, but this is like the third big overhaul in a row. And so listen, here's a comment from a person. This is very different, and I really do not know how I feel about this. ... Arranging the buildings and the pops in the tile screen is like 85% of the game. Also, Paradox, just fucking stop. Stop these massive overhaul updates. Even if they're good, the game is great and fine as it is. Fix the things everyone wants fixed, and all these new ideas and overhauls you want to implement, put them in Stellaris 2. I kind of just want to stop there. I mean, that's amazing. That's the other side of the coin, right? Like, I love what they're doing here. But is this person right? Should it only be in sequels they do this kind of stuff? And so their game director, right, comes in. This is Wiz. And he basically just says, I mean, I love his response. Listen to this. Sorry, but no. We're going to continue working towards what we believe is a better game. That has been our policy since Stellaris came out, and I think the results bear that policy out. If it's any consolation, the tile system's pretty much the last major feature in the game that I consider to be in need of a total overhaul. There are certain areas that could do with fleshing out, such as diplomacy and federations, but the tile system was really inhibiting our ability to create interesting mechanics and choices for planets. He comes back and he says, here's my real issue condensed. At what point in time have you changed the game so much that it's an entirely different game? The Ship of Theseus, right? I was reading this during the week. I was like, what the... I get that you want to be continuously change and improve, and I appreciate that. But what if whole concepts of the game must be burned down to get there? But like the tile set system, is the game even Stellaris anymore? I mean, what a question to pose to him. And so, I mean, this is so, and Wiz responds by saying, the tile system is not one of the core concepts of the game. I mean, we interact with it more than anything else, I would add, by the way, but he says it's not one of the core concepts of the game. The core concept of a game is not about specific mechanical or technical implementation. It's about a vision of the game and the experience the game is trying to create. Stellaris is a game about exploring the unknown, building a space empire and portraying different species and societies within that context. This overhaul will let us create significantly more diversity and interesting choices between different kinds of species and empires. I would say that if anything, it's making the game more Stellaris, not Stellaris. Anyway, that's his response. So I now pose to you a question, Twitch chat. Guild Wars 2 is a game about what? The core concept of Guild Wars 2 is not about specific mechanical or technical implementation. It's about a vision. What's the Guild Wars vision? Pandering to casuals? That's what a lot of you are going to want to say. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that was ever the vision for Guild Wars 1 or 2. What is it? Corteria overhaul, baby. Let's do it. I mean, someone just said a story theme of the game, people coming together. That's a theme. And maybe on a technical level, gameplay-wise, you can kind of say that as well. Squads and the nature of dynamic events and stuff. People coming together. It's about actual Guild Wars. I mean, yeah, there's something amazing about that question I just posed to you, considering how the name of the franchise is couched in that and how much of a misnomer it is. Its spirit is getting copied by more popular MMOs. And then I guess if you think you have an answer to that question I just gave you, then the question is, how is it still failing to achieve that, if it is at all? Maybe you think it's perfect. Exploration, I suppose. I mean, we can try to not distill it down too badly. Broadly speaking, I think most RPGs... most genres of game have got exploration as a facet. But yeah, so there you go. That's all the random crap I wanted to waffle about today. I think that is everything. Yeah, so just a reminder, the guild halls are changing, and if you guys want to join the guilds, you can join us on Discord for information on how to do that. Discord is just generally a cool place to be as well. So there's a link in chat. You can click for that right now. All right, story. That only took me 53 minutes to say hello. Go look at the manifesto. That's what the vision is. So not swinging swords, swinging axes. Yeah. Look at this. The vision of Guild Wars 2. This is okay because it's an axe. This is not okay. This should be deleted. Axe or sword auto should be deleted from the game. That's why this was nerfed last patch. It makes sense. That's why they nerfed the sword auto last patch. The manifesto says I shouldn't be doing this. I'm such a dick. Okay, right, I've got to actually figure out what we're doing now. So, Christ. Let's go do the Djinn event, because it's likely to be up, because it takes multiple players to trigger it. So let's go do that, and we can now be a Jackal Explorer, because last chapter we got the Jackal. So, yeah, let's go do Zomeros, and then I'll just build from there. I was hoping to beat Balthazar, but the fact that such a huge chunk of the stream I haven't even started yet, it might mean that this gets stretched to tomorrow, in which case I do apologize. I'm going the wrong way. I'm a bad commander. What do you think of 4 wins returning after 4 years and coincidence 4 wins after 4 years? I think you've used the real word there, coincidence. I don't think there was anything planned about that. Has it really been 4 years since it, though? Wow. Engzak says you could think about it in a different way. Are you the same person now as you were 10 years ago? Well, exactly. And again, Soma. Play Soma, honestly. It deals with that on so many scales. It's amazing. On the idea of duplicate, on so many. So these guys on Safari are not to do with the Djinn event, right? I think. Oh, I can put the audio back up as well now. I guess I need to sort this out in such a way that you guys can hear the game, but not too loudly too. Screw it. We're not doing the Safari. We're not going to do every little event we see. It looks like someone already triggered it. So yeah, there's just an explorer over here. It's I've done this on several streams. When we were crafting the gemstones in here, when we were doing it for one of the first times. I don't know. We've done it a lot of times, so don't expect me to, you know, have my jaw on the floor. But we will listen to the audio and have some fun. So basically, you have to have at least 3 players here to trigger him to move, which he now is. I wonder if we can swiftness him.
Ah! Watch for falling rocks.
Yeah, or you can watch me and Matt play Soma. Was that on Visualwood 2? That was on the dedicated channel, wasn't it? Yeah, we played it together. That was my first experience of the game. I've done a subsequent playthrough since, but yeah.
I've seen gates like these in my studies. The locking mechanisms are tied to pressure plates. With enough pressure applied to all the plates, the gate will open. Hopefully none of you are too scrawny. I'll stand on this one here. Find the others.
Do I think we'll be able to go to the Labyrinthine Cliffs with a free-to-play account? Sure, yeah, it's a festival. I think they'll do mount rentals, probably. Someone pointed that out in the comments of one of my videos. Mount rentals obviously are a thing with festivals, and yeah.
The mechanism is moving. It's opening. Well done.
Guild Wars 2 was originally
aren't known for welcoming house guests, especially uninvited mortals. Could be some creative traps in here.
Guild Wars 2 was created when MMOs were experimenting with dynamic content. Yeah, and they didn't really go far enough with it, I don't think. Guild Wars 2, in a weird way, I think, killed a certain sense of MMO. I really believe that any player-driven MMO, there's a certain mix of sandbox and theme park that still hasn't been tapped into. One of my real early excitements for New World, if you remember when that was revealed, was that a decent Twitch integration system could do phenomenal things for creating a living, breathing world. The best way to create a living, breathing world, I think, is not through developers, it's through the player base. You have to empower and incentivize the player base to enact change within the world. Like, there's something that early mods hit, and there's something that single-player sandboxes hit that MMOs have just never properly filled. Like, when we get that real Dwarf Fortress MMO kind of experience, I think you'll find something very real. In a lot of ways, games like Minecraft have come closer, I think. What do you think about people interlocking the quality of Heart of Thorns events with the idea that they are also massive meta events?
Taking this shot.
I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. You mean that no one judges Heart of Thorns events on their own merits?
Such might.
I think that's regrettable, but it's not really on my mind much at the moment. Wakfu is a fully player-run MMO. Yeah, but I'm talking a AAA experience as well, like that, and I know that's one of those stupid things to just spit out at people as though it answers anything. But the kind of polish that you'd find ArenaNet can do, or a big-budget studio, that's why Amazon's exciting, because money. That's literally it. Which is such a crying shame, but there you have it. What do you think will happen if Aurene shows up to greet the Zephyrites? Yeah, I mean, they talked on the posts that there was some kind of story wrapper, right? I think that was the phrase that Matthew Medina posted. He said a story wrapper for the festival, so I hope that it's good. And it could include Aurene. It's got to be careful, though, because this has to... I think the idea is it's going to be a slim wrapper because they'll remove it in subsequent years. The core of the festival can't rely on Aurene and can't rely on this other stuff, because you'll have people from Heart of Thorns and people who are only core accounts and people who are only Cogs of War accounts who won't know anything about Aurene, potentially. Like, imagine, not that she will necessarily, but imagine she dies soon. You can't then have her integrated into the festival, so I don't know. I mean, yes, they can do phasing. They don't have to resort to phasing. They can just have this instance only opens if you're this far into the story, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, the point is that there's a return on investment for putting that work in. If only eventually it's going to be a tiny percentage of your player base that sees or interacts with it, is there any point in putting loads of work into it? That's the point. It's not that it's not technically feasible. It's absolutely feasible. Through phasing and a ton of other means. So yeah, we join the room. God, I'm being lazy about this. There's a Mystic Forge upside down up there. The idea is that is the forge, I believe. And the idea is we grab unidentified Jinn artifacts and we pilfer them. You can also see all the legendaries Zomaros gifts you with down here. These are only the Gen 1 legendaries, though, not the Gen 2 ones, which do also come out of the forge, but because they didn't have the full set when they made this map, it kind of didn't make sense. I like the idea that we'll find another Jinn room like this filled with the Gen 2 ones eventually. Do the legendary armor comes out of the forge as well, right? Everything really good comes out of the forge. So they could do another forge later that has armor in it and Gen 2 legendaries. That would be fun. Yes, I'm on North America and everyone's welcome to play. We have 20 people with us right now. You can come along. Did I hear you correctly in your YouTube video that the Let's Play returns today? No, the LP isn't today. The Guild Wars 1 AFC is today. The LP will be sometime... I don't want to say tomorrow or the day after because I'm streaming on those days as well and I tend to be really unproductive on stream days. But we'll see. I don't know. You do believe at some point if Guild Wars 2 lasts long enough, we'll see phasing tech utilized in a lot of older maps since there's a limit to how many new maps they can realistically add? I don't know whether that's true. Obviously, lore-wise, there's no limit. Engine-wise, there's no limit. The only concern would be, are you spreading the player base too thin? But I think that they read those concerns and dealt with those years ago now, and I think they realized they just said, fuck it. There's already tons of empty maps in the game. Timberline Falls is basically going to be empty right now. Dredgehaunt is basically going to be empty. Countless char maps are going to be basically empty. They basically just realized that the game's in that situation anyway, so they just keep adding new maps. I don't think there's any limit. Is there? Not even like when it comes down to the size of the game on people's hard disks, because they stream the data that you need and only the data you need now with the streaming client. I say now, that's like a 2-year-old thing as well now. I really don't see any limit. Yeah, empty maps are unavoidable, so you just take it with the territory and you do what you can. That's what I'm trying to explain. What will you do with the personal story level 70 towered down? It is bugged for lots of people, including myself, where you can't speak with Ton. I wasn't aware of that bug. If I hit it, I will be really mad and angry, and I will do my best to circumvent it in whatever way I can. Old content I've made, permission from other people, data mining. I'll fucking mine the audio if I have to. I'll find a way. Or I'll just put it on hold until they fix it. I don't know. Hope it gets fixed eventually. What's the replay potential of Guild Wars 2 as a whole, since maps tend to be dead after people complete them? Well, under the current reward system, there's definite retention issues. There's always been retention issues. Only when Heart of Thorns was released, did they really have good results on that front, and then they caved within a few months and did the Heart of Thorns 2.0 patch. Which, if you go back, I invite you to go back and watch my video, my coverage on Heart of Thorns 2.0. It was very specifically worded to obfuscate my misgivings about it while explaining how much the community was celebrating it. Communities will destroy their own games if they're listened to too closely, and I think that kind of stuff has always hit Guild Wars 2. Path of Fire would have had much more replayability if people didn't rebel against having to work for stuff in HOT. So I don't know. Next expansion, hopefully they'll find a middle ground between HOT and POF.
This is perfect. Now I just need to catalog them.
Or they might not care. They genuinely might not care. They might be happy having a game where they get X thousands of people come back on the release and then they leave. Maybe they really don't care anymore. Maybe they don't care about fighting it. They're just like, fuck it, yeah. We'll let the losers play the raids and we'll just let normal people zerg off. Done. Maybe they don't care. Maybe that's perfectly fine to them.
So much power.
What's the relationship between NCSoft and ArenaNet? As far as I've always understood and learned as the years have gone by, it's very minimal. I don't know how deep it is, but it's always seemed to have been de-emphasized. I don't know whether that's de-emphasized because there's something actually really deep going on with it, but Most people who talk about NC Soft are just randoms on the internet who think they know what's going on and really don't. So I don't know. As far as I've seen, it's very minimal between them. In fact, a couple of years ago, around when HOT came out, even a lot of the marketing stuff was taken away from NC Soft and is handled in-house by ArenaNet now, I think. I think it's minimal, whatever it is. Yeah, Jill says, I legit forget that NC Soft's even involved. They are involved at various intersections, but nothing major, I don't think. Long live WP. Why did you say that? That's always scary, like I'm about to get sniped. Long live WP. Famous last words.
You will not escape, mortals.
I think that NC Soft and ArenaNet split in various regards, but not all of them. I don't even know if that's possible for it to be all of them.
It was just for research purposes, I swear.
Not on my watch.
You've been away a bit, didn't realize it was mentioned on the page. Sorry, what page? You do look forward to Season 4's ending, given how Jessica Price implied that the late changes to Season 4 arcs, which forced them to shorten Joko's arc, may have come from a change of direction from higher-ups. Wonder what their original plans were, and if they ended up changing Expansion 3 location because of reiteration. Yeah, is that from the AFC, Cottage? That's another AFC I've got to cover. You guys might find a Guild Wars 1 AFC, then a Guild Wars 2 AFC, then even maybe a stream sum-up video, because they're at San Diego. I watched one of their streams during the week. They have like a food truck, a Guild Wars 2 food truck. Can you believe it? Seriously, and like this big griffin people are riding on.
That shit nearly killed me. I'm never doing that again. But if we did do it again, next time we'd have to be more careful, so as to not disturb the gem. Anyway, I think it's best we respect their wishes and leave quickly for now.
Alright, there you go. So that's the Zomoros chain. Voila, we got that in the series. Now let's go do the Garden of Saborin. The notion that they changed the entire location of Expansion 3 seems somewhat ridiculous to me. It depends how early, man. It depends how early. I mean, if I look back at HOT, alright, we all had this impression in the community, and the devs were happy to let us live with this impression because it sold more copies. We all had this impression in the community that HOT was being worked on from a long time before, that it, like, not like high-level concepts and vague ideas, but real, boots to the ground, solid implementation, deliverable stuff had been going on for not just months, but years before the HOT announcement. Like, that's the impression we had in the community. And so it would be crazy to think that a last-minute change could have happened for HOT. And then, of course, HOT came out, and you realize, oh, shit, all they had was, like, work-in-progress, verdant brink stuff before they released it to us. Even, like, if you look at the original Heart of Thorns trailer, the very layout of Tyria and stuff was totally different in that trailer. And so it became very obvious, especially through the content droughts, that no, they had dick all. I mean, they really were everything Season 1. Season 1, while Season 1 was coming out, was palatable to me because throughout Season 1, I believed they were working on an expansion. And for good reason. It felt like they were, and they had an official announcement when Guild Wars 2 came out and Season 1 was starting, saying, yeah, we've split the team, expansion, and blah, blah, blah. And so to then realize that HOT was a last-minute, crazy crunch scramble from the devs,
We'd appreciate it.
I mean, there's a lot in that. So, to what extent was that done for POF? To what extent can they do that with future expansions? Big changes at last minute, so I don't think ArenaNet are any stranger to. Let me just put it that way. It's that ruthlessness I was talking about before.
I'm not sure. What's there to see?
Well, there's me.
That fucked them so many times. And I mean that, like, positively. It was a good experience for them sometimes, and it was a terrible experience for them sometimes, you know? Right, so what do I actually want to do at the garden? I've got to actually think here. To be honest, I mostly just want to play the story. Look, here's what we're going to do. Oh, but we do have a squad. Let's do the story. We're gonna keep with this tomorrow, but I've told everyone we're gonna fight Balthazar today, and we're running out of time, so we're gonna fight Balthazar today, okay? We're gonna do it. We're gonna finish POF, and we will do the Vabby stuff. It will just be like a bonus post-release thing. We'll do it that way. Post-release, you get what I mean. Path of Fire, Beast of War. Stop Balthazar's campaign to destroy Kralkatorrik. We're going to go to the Kodash Bazaar, and we're going to wait his arrival. We're going to do it. We're going to finish it. And one thing I'm really keen on as well is Timey. Sorry to everyone who joined the squad and basically got very little value out of joining the squad. You're all there, though. If somebody wants... Here, I'm going to make this guy the commander. He is now the squad leader. He will lead you to victory and endless bounties. So everybody who joined, you guys can have fun, but we have to go into an instance now. Yeah, I am really sorry about the squad thing, but I want to play. There is that thing. So Timey has some kind of a mention that I can't remember if Living World is revealed yet. So this is one of the big mysteries of POF coming up that I honestly can't remember if it's been answered. Let's go have a look. One of the guild chats mentioned they had a list of characters they were going to kill and have awakened this arc, but didn't in the end. Yeah, like, so the AFC and the guild chats, I need to get more in touch with what's going on. Wow, what? I hope they keep making more elite specializations for upcoming expansions. I hope they don't skip out on making more. Why would they skip out, man? Absolutely, I hope they do too. I've got no reason to believe they'd stop, though. Why is that comment on my stream right now? Why do you think that they might? All right, so Beast of War, let's do it. Yeah, one of the final messages where the static interrupts what she's saying and it sounds important. Okay, so check in with our team. Let's very quickly remind ourselves what's going on because it's been a little while because of all the story streams on Corner instead. So, enemy of my enemy. Our ruse worked. Archon Iberu came to investigate the supposed Sunspear uprising I manufactured. He was not happy to see us or about being fooled, and he angrily attacked. We defeated him, and then Cass cloaked us in an illusion to make us appear as Iberu, and his awakened entourage. We infiltrated the Bone Palace, and I met with Grand Vizier Utamishi, a wormy little sycophant, trying to keep Joko's kingdom running while the tyrant is away. Is Utamishi still alive, by the way? And Worm Marshal Ikolo, one of Joko's battle-hardened leaders. Ikolo was eager to join the fight against Balthazar, and as Iberu, I blustered and threatened Utamishi until he gave up the locations of 2 more awakened field marshals. Then I rejoined my team, and I instructed them to split up so we could learn more about our targets before recruiting them. I found Troop Marshal Ogun at his encampment. He was ready to follow me into battle willingly, but his newly awakened troops weren't combat ready, and so could not leave his post for fear that the forged base nearby would overrun and disrupt the supply lines he'd been ordered to defend. I agreed to do his job for him, and assaulted the base with a small squad of his awakened troops. We found and destroyed the portal that Balthazar was using to send the forged reinforcements in. After my mission was complete, Ogun agreed to lead his soldiers against Balthazar under my command. He will stage his army outside Kodash and wait for my signal. So he's waiting for us outside Kodash, and we've just arrived at Kodash. Okay, so we've got 1 army. We got two generals so far, and then we're getting a 3rd general. I headed to the necropolis to meet my next awakened recruit, Beast Marshal Alua Aranko, a stubborn but proud commander of Joko's Beast Cavalry unit. She wasn't willing to lend me her soldiers unless I proved my riding prowess. So I mounted up and played her little game of tag to show her what I'm capable of, and to demonstrate that following my lead wouldn't ruin her unit's impeccable reputation. I've got my army now. Time to take down a god. I read that really shittily, and I'm really sorry, but hopefully I did good enough. Yeah, so this entire... I mean, if you look back here at The Departing, the game was, like, in its element, I think. Through the first 9 steps, I think ArenaNet were bang on, and it was all perfect. But I think when you look at 10, they travel so much ground so quickly without really doing anything interesting. This is just like... quick, we must get to the fight. So let's give them an army and do some basic things. Oh, here you prove yourself in battle. Here you do a mini game on a raise. Here you do a conversation. Boom, we've gone through maps, and now we're at the end. I mean, really, it's like, it's such a high quality expansion. It's so good. Everything's so genius and amazing. And then all of a sudden it bottoms out at enemy of my enemy. This is the Path of Fire version of, oh, I haven't played on this character, but of a certain moment in HOT. But anyway, there you go. So we've got an army of Awakened, and we're going to fight Balthazar. We have Lady Casimir Mead with us. We have Canark with us. We have Ritlock Brimstone with us. We are the mighty warrior Natalie, whose traits might be broken because of balance with boots. So let me check. Mage Main Tether. Sun and Moon style. Yeah, we can run that. Warrior's Sprint. I don't want Brawler's Recovery. Actually, I do want Brawler's Recovery. Let's run that. We'll keep Axe Mastery as well. We'll keep the Vitality and Peak Performance. That's fine. All right, let's go.
So, that's Joko's finest. Wretched-looking group.
Still, they're about to stand shoulder to shoulder with us on the battlefield. So a little respect.
Oh, Commander. The Awakened troops are here, but no sign of Balthazar yet.
And there's Krakatoric, which means we're not too late. I should check in with our Awakened allies before Balthazar arrives. Kaz?
Coming up. Let's hope this is the last time.
Commander. Oh, wait.
All right, so we get a brief moment. I like this moment they've given me here to speak. By the way, yeah, that was a roar of the dragon. No screen shake, because I do have it enabled. I have camera shake on, so they didn't shake the camera, which reduces its impact. But still, they have not learnt their lesson. The dragon dialogue is on the effects volume, which we have low, because otherwise the gameplay will blow your ears off. So it's going to ruin a lot of moments, I'm afraid. I'll try and turn it up a bit, but then you guys are going to whine that it's too loud, so I don't know. It's annoying. Sorry. Okay, so here, again, look at this. Optional dialogue is backed with the white, and the main dialogue is the big star. So we'll just do the optional dialogue first. Hello, Casimir.
You know, Kaz, if you'd rather sit this one out, we'd all understand.
Balthazar killed you, my commander. He killed Vlast and kidnapped Aurene. He would destroy my homeland in pursuit of revenge. Some gods just need to have their immortality revoked.
No, music isn't turned off. You've been hearing it in the stream. What? But it's just silent here. It's like the calm before the storm. What's my offhand? This is dagger offhand. It's the spellbreaker weapon. One of them. You can go dagger main hand as well, but I'm not doing that.
Leading a borrowed army of corpses into battle against the god of war. I wish I'd known this was your plan when I bet on you at the casino. But I have enjoyed working with you, Commander. I guess settling our personal debt has had its own value.
You don't owe me anything. As I recall, you volunteered to join me out here, so I'd say I now owe you.
That's what I meant. Holding a marker from someone like you is worth far more than gold.
I wonder if we'll ever try and cash that in, or that's too minor dialogue. Probably too minor. Okay, Ritlock. So remember, Ritlock's story is he went to the Mists and he accidentally released Balthazar. Please don't ask any more questions about that. Okay, let's move on. So anyway, here, and he's upset that he did that.
I got us into this mess over Sahathan, but you can get us out of it. Thinking back, I now know what Cormyr meant. Undo this wrong. The means are in your grasp. You should have it.
No. Sahathan is yours. The only thing that matters is stopping Balthazar. When he sees you're not dead, he'll turn his full fury on you and no one else. He won't expect you to have it, which makes this our best hope.
I'm honored, Tribune. I'll bring it back in one piece.
Yes, you will. Commander, I hesitate to mention, but according to the Order, there are 3 other entrances to the bazaar in addition to this main gate. Joko's marshals have dispatched soldiers to each location, but they themselves have chosen to remain here.
If Balthazar shows up at any of those other gates, the Awakened won't stand a chance without leadership.
3 out of 4 chance that Balthazar could just waltz into town. Seems awful risky. I agree. You 3 should coordinate the armies at each gate. I'll stay here since the marshals have already accepted my leadership.
Works for me.
Good luck to you, Commander. Good luck to us all.
Alright, so basically this is just to get the other characters out of the way. You might think that they're building up for the finale an actual large logistic-oriented battlefield like they used to do a lot in Guild Wars 1 where there was sort of strategy going on. They even played with a bit in Personal Story, but no, that's just to get the other characters out of the picture, to be honest. So yeah, I mentioned the Cormyr thing. We talked a ton about Cormyr before, her cryptic comments at the end. I guess the answer to the cryptic comments is that the power was in her hands, it just meant Sahothin. I mean, why she would be cryptic about it, though? She should have said, Balthazar infused himself in that sword, it can do a lot of damage, just BT dubs. Because that's an important clarifying point that I think that Path of Fire did miss. The reason we're able to do what we're about to do is because this is Balthazar's like power within the sword. Balthazar may have crafted it in the first place, but definitely repowered it with Ritlock in the Mist recently. So yeah, I think that's basically what they're getting at there. Yeah, I saw someone in chat as well said to not run the cleansing thing because I won't be weapon swapping. I can drop the sword and then pick it back up with the special action. So you basically get 3 weapons here, and there's no cooldown on getting in and out. So I can be weapon swapping. And this is a nice system. We've seen this a little bit more in Living World recently. I think this is a beautiful way of using special action hotkeys. There's a bug in Halo 1 where you can get 3 weapons at once, and this makes me think of that bug. But yeah, so we get the Sahothin skills. Let me just remember what they are. Sahothin's Bite, Sting, and Roar. A devastating slash reduces the cooldown of your 4 and 5. So the 4 and 5 have massive cooldowns. Some classic MMO and Guild Wars 2 skill design here. 2 minutes for Flame Spit and 300 seconds for Cataclysm. I'm not sure what that is in minutes. But so yeah, you want to auto a lot to reduce these, and they start on cooldown. So all this chatting I've been doing is kind of good because it's been low in those. Then you get Sahothin Tornado, whirl in a target's direction, slashing foes along your path. So this is Great Sword 3, but they put on the 2 slot, and I don't know why. But this is pretty good. And as you land this, it also reduces the cooldown of the others. And then engage in assault, leap a great distance towards your foe. This is a 700 range leap, that's huge. And ravage them with Sahothin's power, reduces cooldown on the other things as well. So yeah, just 2 big engages. Is this an evade as well? It is. So pretty simple weapon, really. I like it a lot. So Flame Spit is slice the air before you, sending vortexes of flame forward, dealing damage. And then Cataclysm is just a giant nuke, all right? So we will see these soon enough. So yeah, there you go. And we got a big fight now. This is a beautifully created instance, by the way. It's really, really, really cool. I mean, another criticism that comes with POF a lot, I see casuals, like on our MMORPG and stuff, criticizing Path of Fire. Oh, they're talking. I gotta go. Is how we're just randomly here, it almost feels like. But, you know, it's just the speed. So anyway, look, tons of Awakened. They're real Awakened with real, you know, models and can actually be defeated and will actually just function as proper NPCs. You saw in the recent release that they didn't do this anymore. They did like a weird, like, fake kind of NPC. And then a single Janundu Wern. This is pretty disappointing. I'd love to have seen a proper stage battle where there's loads of Janundu versus Balthazar. I think they're missing a trick there. That could have been an awesome beat of the Path of Fire story. But Janundu in general in this expansion were treated really flippantly. Anyway, hey guys.
Archon, the Awakened are assembled and await your orders. True Marshal, focus your troops on the Forged Infantry. Marshal Iranko's mounted corps will disrupt their snipers. Marshal Ikolo. Worm Marshal, where is your unit?
There, on the front line. Our ranks have shrunk as my worms have been sacrificed for the greater good. But a single properly trained Janundu can wreak more havoc than 100 of Ogun's worthless worm-eating grunts.
Total victory.
Then you target the elite forge and keep them off our backs as best you can.
Archon, forge scouts on the ridge.
Awaken! Take your positions! In Joko's name, let's give Balthazar a proper desert welcome. Marshals, you have your orders. Go!
Today, Balthazar will fall.
Where did the sword come from, and how did Ascalonians get it? It was from Ore. The gods gave it to humanity, I think is the idea. From Ore, and then it went from Ore to Ascalon later. Do some of the skills change based on class? Do they? I don't remember. I don't know. I'm willing to believe it, though. So there's the 3. Pretty goddamn... the 2, sorry. Pretty crazy big damage. Let's jump into the cannonades. Sweep through here. Let's try and use the 4, shall we? So look at all this. This is thousands we're doing here. All the numbers are appearing in white, but it's still kind of ridiculous. So this is a radius. It's got a range of 500 around it. So that's what the 5 does. I mean, it's obscene. So Hothin, by the way, the model we have is like an improved and different version of regular fiery dragon swords and what we've seen Ritlock wielding for all these years. So it's like turbocharged. It feels awesome. It's a really cool thing. Some people think that the next legendary greatsword will be Sohothin as a greatsword. I mean, it's not actually a GS, I don't think. It's a one-handed sword. But still, I'm going to put Hilsig on because Defiant Stance is only there because of the balance patch. It'd be cool if we got a burst skill as a warrior with this as well. Wouldn't that be really cool? Actually, let's use natural meditation. I like natural meditation. It will rob us of our might, but I don't know. So yeah, just I like this instance. I don't know what else to say, man. It's fun. It's cool. It's blow stuff up with a ton of awakened allies who you know how strong they are because you've been fighting them loads. It's a bit like, well, I don't know. There's loads of examples of in games where you ally with your enemy at the end. So yeah, we take them all out. We got a bar, engage and cull the forged. I'm just trying to land as many autos and 2s right now to reduce the cooldown of my thing. So it's actually impossible to crit. So I wonder if just a power-oriented build would be better on this. I also don't even gain adrenaline with the sword. That's interesting. I wonder why the devs did it that way. I mean, actually, I know why they did it this way. We've talked about it many times. It's because they want a perfectly unified, solid experience. They have to reinvent the game over and over. Remember what I said before? I wonder if might even modifies these. Do you think it does? I wonder if any attributes are at play at all while you have the sword. Or they've just got rid of it all. So anyway, here's the big thing. Sorry, I'm doing really badly. There was a cutscene they had that they removed, which is supposed to show this part. This is all supposed to be an engine. You're supposed to know that Aureen's on this right now. So it breaks through, they erupt a thing. You got to take out the shield generator pylons to get through. I can't even full counter then. Wait, so hold on. If I run... No. Oh, you can't cancel cast while holding this either. That's annoying. If I run adrenaline-oriented utility skills, can I get adrenaline? I got a tiny bit there. So if I do that, can I start full countering with Sohothin equipped and stuff? That'll make this way easier if that's possible. I might even run the shout trait, which is press a shout and get... Oh, no, that's only with lots of allies, though. I don't know. Anyway, so you take out the pylons, and then the assembler's up. And then you can blow up the assembler. So, by the way, I have an achievement. Destroy all of the forged pylons without dying. Okay. So let me try this. Let me try to the limit. Let's just see. Yeah, that gives me full counter. That's good. And then let me run Signet of Fury for adrenaline. Just to get full counters. Why not? And then I'll keep the balls charged, though. And the quickness seems fine. Balls charge are good peel out if things get dicey. And this way I don't ever have to swap to my other thing. Since I'm not weapon swapping in the end, because I can't be bothered, I guess I will... I'll run banner regen and stuff, actually. And then... oh, no, I don't want to run a banner. Screw that. I guess we'll just do more damage to people with boons. They are awakened. Oh, no, they're forged. Do forged get many boons? I hope they do. Right, yeah, so it's a run sequence.
Commander!
Not now, Tiger.
Dragon Lab. Still doing research on the... in Kesho.
I can't understand what you're saying.
The daisy said balance Elder Dragon.
Timey! Timey! You can't escape!
So was that it? Is that her big reveal that we don't know what the answer was to? Was that what it was? I'm going to go really slow here. The idea here is it's supposed to be frantic and charging and running after Irene, but because of the way I do these streams, it's obviously going to seem really slow and shit. So I'm sorry about that, guys, but yeah. Is that the thing? Or that's the big mystery? What she found out in the lab? I remember being really... If that is the line, I remember being really hyped by that when I first played. Like, super hyped. This time, I don't know. Did they actually have a good answer to that now? Not entirely sure. So yeah, by the way, just the general premise of this, how cool is this? That you do an expansion with the headline feature being mounts, and at the end of that, you do a big mount-oriented charge sequence. It's great. It's so cool. It's perfect. I wouldn't have wanted to see this expansion end in any other way. So we take out the shield generator, and this allows us to blow these guys up. Look at that, too. It creates fiery tornadoes when you land with it. It's so good. The 3 feels so weak by comparison. Which one's the profession skill? I need to look at... Let's see. Quickness does affect it. It is quickness affected. We'll full counter this. Oh, no. I ran out of... Oh, does it actually strip adrenaline to use the skills? No. Why did I run out for my full counter then? I don't know. Let's use this. So another thing, by the way... Oh, we're not even in combat breaking these. I tried to dodge it. I was trying to put a Springer on, but I couldn't. Now I'm in combat with him, and he's the main target, so I won't be able to get out. I was going to show you. If you use a Springer, one Springer jump breaks these. Yeah, an Eviscerate hits as much as one auto, so... We'll just roll through here. There you go. I'm out of combat here. I'll get on a Springer and show you. Oh, it doesn't fully break it, but it does a ton of damage. Puts us in combat, though. That's interesting. Regular attacks don't, but that does. Unless that was that I was close to the mob again. Okay, and then you get the final pylon, which we can use the 4 on with quickness. Man, Spellbreaker's like kind of nuts. So we'll use to the limit, full counter into his lava font. I guess that's irrelevant because he doesn't really... So what are we getting? 3k, 3k, 6k, and then a 4k crit. Yeah, interesting. I wonder what the drainers do. I'm not really sure. There's so many categories of Forge that I just don't understand or know very well. It just shows how little I really played this expansion. Right, I think the next section is a raptor section. I wonder how the beetle feels on this, whether you can get through some places. You notice that they have raptor renting as well. Yeah, so we'll never make it across on foot. Sorry, I tried to turn it up a little bit so you guys could hear. So you can rent the raptors. I guess that's more than, oh, players won't have raptors, so we'll do this. I think that's just, hey, let people know that raptors are important. Hey, thanks for the subs, guys. This is a pretty intense part of this plot, and it's kind of cool to see your subbing, but I'll read them out later. Unless you proper bomb me, but thank you, everybody.
The exalted... The gods...
What just happened? Why did it get quiet? Timey, are you still there?
No, that's it, isn't it? What's she trying to say? The exalted and the gods? Is it answered anywhere? See, I haven't done the final time for Timey, which I know is about Flunt, but I haven't done the final one, so I don't know whether they answer that. All right, so we got to do this without dying. This is a bit crazy. Does it stay bullet hell forever or no? All right, we're all gravy. I like these ground target tails. They didn't use these much, but we might see these in the rest of the living world because this is Krauk oriented, so... We don't jump back across, we go over here. There's one fiddly bit to this. There's only one. Look how cool this is, honestly. It just doesn't feel like this in the open world either, funnily. I think it's because of the lack of fires. Okay, I think that's fine, and we'll leap here. If I get this achievement, I'll be pretty happy. So far, so good. I mean, playing a high vitality warrior. Oh! You bastards. Oh my god. That one was pretty cheesy. Will I combat break? Yes, no? Maybe? There it is again. Gotta be really careful. There it is. Get onto that and across. I mean, the end of the game is such a great place to do an achievement like that. So here I'm going to come in the middle and use this. I know that they were mostly distracted by one another anyway, but... Oh, I didn't mean to do that, though. I didn't mean to do that one. That was stupid. I should have taken out the shield generators. Oh, well. We'll make sure to just auto like mad here to reduce the cooldown for the next big fight. Look, the third auto, the roar, that's basically a fire grab. Look at that. Look how cool that is. The design of this weapon is so badass. What's a cool fire ability? Fire grab. All right, let's just put it on the auto chain. Oh, can you imagine if that was freaking like the fire greatsword auto? Oh. Imagine a bonus mission pack thing where you play as Ritlock in the Mist. They don't need to do bonus mission pack. They already have a format perfect for that. It's called Fractals of Mists. And yeah, it'd be awesome. The camera is always angled in the ground. Why look in the sky? Oh, hold on. Did I miss Kraukatoric flying around already? I don't think I did. You don't see him till the end, do you? Anyway, the battery. What do the batteries do? Heal them? Charge them up? I'm not sure. To the limit. Get another thing. Full counter. Don't forget that the this actually stacks damage on us because burst skills. So this actually makes our auto stronger if modifiers affect it. I don't know whether they do. Another Krauk roar. You guys might not have heard much. You don't accept MXM? Oh, poor MXM. I feel really weird about MXM because MXM and covering that was one of those weird places where I felt like a successful YouTuber in that I had developers of a game that I didn't even cover, basically saying, hey, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? And like helping me out and doing giveaways. And so it was cool. I felt like a success. And then the game became nothing. Oh, well. We had some good times, Spud. We had our Spud guild. And we did some of the PvE there. That was good stuff. Eyes to the sky. Oh, there you go. It's Kraukatoric. We see an Elder Dragon. So this is the 4th Elder Dragon we've seen with our eyes in the game. And the format of seeing him is very, 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 very similar to Primordus, which they did in Living World, which is they're not confident giving us the whole Elder Dragon with their tech yet. So they cop out and just give us the head, which I'm fine with. I used the word cop out there. I don't try and mean that. I'm not trying to say that in a vicious way or whatever. It's genuinely fine to me that they do that. Some of you might want me to skip this forge, by the way, but I'm not going to because the sword skills are really fun. Yeah, I think it's great. There he is. Most players won't see him until the very end, but he's obviously fighting something up there. I've said this, I've done this discussion many times. We will get a full Elder Dragon when they have the resources and the tech and the back end to do a good one. It might be in a few Living World episodes, who knows? But if all they can do is provide the head, then provide the head. Don't try and build a full Elder Dragon when your tech isn't there to do it. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm happy that they keep holding off, you know? That they're still at a point with Guild Wars where they're saying, no, we want to do it later. You know, if they rushed out the full dragon in a sort of a subpar way, that would kind of signal that they're not interested in pushing the boundaries of Guild Wars too much anymore and blah, blah, blah. But the fact that we only get the head here is exciting to me because it says, no, they've still got a lot to give with Guild Wars. It's Twilight Days or whatever. There's a ton to be excited about. Keep your eyes out, you know? And I think that's great. That's what I want to see. We're going to take out the pylon before killing the branded because he's kind of an ally right now. There we go. Using the 4 there was probably a bit silly. God, the quickness on the 4 feels like it scales so heavily. Let's balls rush in. That was probably a bit bad. Quickness autos don't seem to matter. I don't know. Alright. Keeping the barrier active. Killed 0 of 3. Let's keep going. Back on the Raptor. Choice of mount we can use here, obviously.
One way up those walls. Jump.
Here we're at a Springer section. These guys are all immune, so... Oh, I should have Raptored in on this. Oh, well. That's fine. Take the pylon out while the branded can distract. I mean, this is great. This is what I love about classic Halo, to be honest. Flood versus Covenant versus UNSC. You know, that idea that there's 3 factions just going crazy at one another. That's the spice of those games, and I really feel it here in Guild Wars. We get closer to Krauk, who's looking good because of a bit of custom added depth blur, if I do say so myself. Let's get some fury and quickness and things on this one. Why is he invulnerable? What? Hello? That's not fair. What? Oh, he must have bugged at some point. I did a tiny bit of damage to him. How long till it refreshes and gets rid of that? I wanted to kill everything. All right, we got to run away and combat break. Sergeant Johnson and the Arbiter teaming up. My favorite team up isn't actually that in Halo 2. My favorite game of the whole franchise, they never got anywhere as good as Halo 2. Halo 2 was so good in so many ways. I could talk for ages about it. I won't in this though. But my favorite team up moment, unlikely team up, is actually Halo 3, when you're in the control room of the Ark and the Gravemind says, look, shit just got real. I need you and you need me, so let's do it. And you get to ally with the Flood very briefly. Everything about that moment in that level, the Covenant, is just so incredible. That's my favorite team up moment. But yeah, I'm sure only a fraction of you watching this stream know what the hell I'm talking about. Did the Branded that was down there just die, by the way? Or am I missing something? Let's go straight back to the... This is where I'll die prematurely if I'm not careful. So let's kill what we can kill and pull stuff out of the shield. And then we'll do some other stuff later. It's interesting to me that shield generators never really appeared earlier than this in the campaign. Did they? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, he walked out of range now as well. Full counter, please. No CC. We can heal and go straight back into another one in a second. More modifiers, please. And I'm really not using the 4 and 5 much. Here, we can try something kind of flashy here. You ready? Quickness. 4. Straight into him at the back. Oh, it didn't work. Damn. I was trying to hit the assembler after cleaving down the pylon. It didn't work. I'm probably being a bit conservative with the 4 and the 5 right now, aren't I? Oh, that was perfect. That full counter on this sniper. 10 out of 10. The double eviscerate, baby. This is basically a 700 range evis. Zaitan was starved, so he shrunk. I like that idea, but I don't know whether in lore it's fair to say he was small. The community talks about him being small, but I don't know if the lore's ever established that he was small. Just because the engine made him look a bit smaller than the others. Oh, I guess that's coming up in chat because earlier I said, oh, they can't do a full dragon, so they won't. I mean, yeah, that's what they tried with Zaitan, and we all know how we feel about that. Mind you, his design wasn't really the big criticism for the Zaitan fight, let's be honest. They tried to hide his height with the Zaitan, though, by never having you go too close. He's always far away, so your sense of perspective is lost a little bit. You get glimpses when he breaks the airship and stuff, obviously. I don't think it's fair to act like Zaitan was tiny, though, which is what the community tends to do. So, killed 2 barriers out of 3. This is the last one here now. On the top of Joko's Hanging Gardens. Like, this is great. We don't get Awakened engaging here, which we easily could have, but this idea of just it's chaos in this area of the world because so many different things are fighting at once. You actually have 5 factions here. You've got the Commander, he's a faction all on his own. You've got Kraukatoric, he's a faction all on his own. You've got the Branded. Oh, no. Kraukatoric would be with the Branded, I guess. You've got 4 factions. And then you've got the Forged and the Awakened. It's so cool. The last one. I'm going to kill this guy first. Just because I want the area fully clean. And this guy. Here we go. Oh, no, we go up here. My bad. I thought that barrier was going to go down and we were already at the boss fight. I feel like if we 1v1 him, he'll be the largest enemy before ever. I mean, if we're talking in those terms, they have to go Shadow of the Colossus style stuff. Or, I mean, the other option is riding Aurene Griffin style and I mean, I can imagine that as a coup de grace at the end of the entire, like, the final, the big moment at the end of POF. Like, POF has this mount section, and it's all very exciting. What if at the end of all of POF, ergo the end of the Living World season as well, it's a fight against Kralkatorrik, which once again is a celebration of the mounts and all the crazy tech and amazing ability they've done. Because these aren't just the best mounts in any MMO. These mounts are better than single-player mounts. They're so good. The feel and the weight and the flap of the Griffin is so good. So what if they do a air combat scene against Krauk? Like, to me, that almost seems so perfect, it's impossible for them not to do it. And that's how we fight Krauk, flying around on Aurene or something. A bigger Aurene. Aurene continuing to grow. An adolescent Aurene, right? I can imagine that. So here's the Warbeast at King Joko's Sky Garden. Just that ding of that POI there, just reminding you of all the other stuff, is great. Look at it. You got all the elements here of POF. A dragon, a god, a lich.
Impossible. I rendered you.
I'm here to free Aurene from that thing.
You took advantage of Gwent's absence to escape the domain of the lost. But your resurrection is over.
I'm the master of life.
Oh, that achievement ding sounded really good.
No more running, Balthazar. Face me.
And so there we have it. All right, audio's going to be a bit messy. There's a lot of dialogue in this cutscene. So I'm going to try and not mess with it too much. You guys might not hear my voice very loudly, but I really want you to be able to hear the game and stuff. So this is about the volume we're going to be playing it at, and hopefully that works. Scream at me in chat if that's not good, the current volumes, because this is what I'm aiming to do. And I'm not going to fiddle with volume anymore. Right, yeah, so the Warbeast as sort of a boss before the boss. Also a cool idea. Every great boss needs his mini-boss. And we can kind of blow him up straight away with a 5, I think. I wonder if I should have sacked some modifiers on that first. Let's do 1 peak performance, 1 burst. And now do the 4.
Destroy the dragon.
What does it take to finish this thing?
Okay, so, yeah, the Warbeast is trying to kill the dragon. We're trying to kill the dragon. Balthazar's trying to kill us by summoning Forged and generally, you know, implementing stuff. But yeah, so there you go. That's Krauk. What do you guys think? Leave your comments about Krauk now, because I'll look at him in chat in a second. Makes the Hothan 5 the new Meteor Shower animation? I don't know. If they update Meteor Shower's animation, what they should do is have it so... guess I'm not the only one who can wound an Elder Dragon. That's some okay dialogue. Yeah, basically, what they should do is have it address the fact that the mechanics are so different now. Like, the first meteors should look awesome, and then as it scales down, the meteors should look smaller. That would be a cool update.
You have my full attention. Defend yourself, insect.
Lacking the will.
Okay, so we have his full attention. Our cooldowns are coming up again. I'm gonna sort of quickness attack here. Oh no, I went down. Crap. Yeah, I need to actually remember that the Warbeast does stuff. I guess it doesn't matter for that achievement I was looking for before. There's another achievement to beat this fight without getting defeated, and I did that at launch quite handily. Yeah, I probably shouldn't stand under the Warbeast, right? Rip run. It's not an anti-melee boss. You just need to move out at the right time. Oh my god, we just destroyed his stuff. And watch his animations, I guess. So, as long as I'm not standing under a red ring, it should be fine. There you go. Next phase. He's so triangular and it's cool.
The machine's breaking down, Balthazar.
Snaff? Snaff, are you in there? Snaff, can you hear me? You don't know me, but I know your buddy Ritlock. I don't know why Logan's not here, but he's around as well, sort of.
Got to protect Kralkatorrik. I can't believe I just said that.
Yeah. There you go. That's a little bit of levity that can work in a big epic moment. Let's take more of these guys out. Oh, I'm really happy that the 3 cleaves. Really happy. I guess Zodja should be here as well. There's a lot of characters that probably should have been here. But Destiny's Edge 2.0 is more important, guys. Alright, trust me. It's alright, there's no timer. There is no such thing as failure. There is such a thing as getting defeated and instantly respawning. Oh yeah, obviously he's in the shield thing. Ow, he interrupted my thing by going too close to the bit. I didn't mean to do that either. Oh, it worked. Alright, fine. Let's take these out. Back to the War Beast. What do I want to do? I want to be careful again here, though. That was fine. Okay, we can kill him. It's that wave, right? Basically, don't be standing on him when he does the wave. He just spanked me with his tail, but it didn't really do much. That might be another wave there. I don't know. No, that's missiles. I'd love to, like, have a much longer version of this fight where I can really sit down and look at all the different stuff he does. Like, look at all these animations. Oh my god, he just made this entire half fiery. More bombs. Does he even do the wave anymore? If you're wondering why I'm not using the 5, it's because I want it for the next thing, obviously. And by the way, this is... Oh, really? I don't know the animation. This feels really cheesy because now I just have to sit here now. I mean, I suppose I could vengeance and try and rally on a forged if he spawns anymore. I don't know what the wind up to that is or anything. Also, cannonade spawning. Hello? Come on. I need super speed, man. I should be running a thingy. He's too quick. His WASD is better than mine. Okay, let's take that out. Okay, now he's moving. Okay, so there he's just melting half. Is that a wave again? That is. Okay, so the wave has a good audio cue that I can just barely hear because I'm streaming. But basically, so he won't do it twice in a row either. That's just one of the frustrating things about Guild Wars bosses. Just as you start getting a rhythm and learning what's punishing and what's not, it's over. Another tower. Oh! Kraut got pissed. Look at that chin. Oh, that's cool. They do the Death Shroud thing when you're encased. Okay. So yeah, he starts fighting back. That's cool. We got Krauk stuff to deal with now. I guess it's not even a pylon phase. So that's fine. I wonder what new animations he gets here. I kind of want to slow down the kill because we're really close. He's only got 16%. What new stuff do you think he does at the very end? These are probably animations very few people have seen. Is this ruining it for you guys? There's Krauk firing like branded meteors in. He's so cool in this phase. Doesn't look like he does anything else anymore. Krauk's attacks would never really hit a player realistically here. Oh, there's one. Oh no, that's the tail sweep. Bombs again. I don't know. All right, let's kill him with a 2. There it is.
Looks like your giant wind-up toy wasn't built to last.
Your joy confounds me. Do you think this is over? The Scion is still mine. The dragon is near death. You will not keep me from my destiny.
And so there you go. We actually load into a totally new instance purely for the final fight. It's set in the same place. It's a bit of an awkward loading screen.
The Dragon's Watch Guild now stands alone against the god of war.
How did that hit me?
Armed with nothing but a sword. And the foolish belief that you just accomplished something.
I've stopped you from destroying Tyria, and that's something.
You've stopped nothing. My war beast has weakened Balthazar. All I need to finish the task is the scion trapped behind me.
And I guess we're not finished here.
This has gone on long enough. Kralkatorik's magic will be mine.
So much.
So here,
Maureen, glad to see you in one piece. Let's keep it that way. Stay close. And let's coordinate our attacks.
All right, and then we get a burn phase. So, there's so much to talk about. The dialogue, the mechanics. Basically, the mechanics there, this is a lot like Keep Construct. I could use my more potent abilities, obviously. Where the burn phase is the bigger thing to do. What's this? Gift of the Scion. Arena's gifted you a small amount of protective, renewing, invigorating energy. Does not stack. So this mechanic is awesome because last Living World season, the players who have been playing all this content were taught about the combo abilities with Aurene, and now we get to use it here in the final fight, and the devs have the guts and the balls to know that their players will remember that, and it pays off that you get the special action hotkey and stuff. We could have been robbed of that really awesome moment in the gameplay if they hadn't had faith that the players had done a crack in the ice all that time ago. But that's like an early mechanic from a while ago that they seeded and now becomes a big part of the fight, which is awesome. The way they put his audio between each swing and animation is awesome. I mean, come on. I got hit by a couple of the shockwaves, but that's cool. But yeah, they let you hit him outside of burn phases. But it's sort of more of a token thing, I think, the idea is. But yeah, and then the dialogue, I guess the only thing that really frustrates me there, I mean, he sounds angry and pissed and it's cool and it's a beautiful area. It's the, all you have is a sword. I don't like that line because he should recognize that this sword can kill him. If he'd actually seemed slightly intimidated by the sword or brought a more prominence to the fact that it's his power within it. Some of those questions at the end where people scratch their head and they're like, wait, why are we such a badass we can take out a god? Even though there are answers to that because he's a depowered god and all this is Bloodstone power fighting and all that stuff, it still would have helped. And I think that was a little thing. Anyway, yeah, so let's fight, I guess.
Such might.
Let's hope he stands still for this full animation. 100k damage? Easy. What? I was evading. That was the 2. Easy. Bull's Rush to get another bit of cleave there and an Eviscerate just to see if it bumps the damage even more. I missed that. We can cleave his ads though, so that's fine. So he's pretty basic to avoid. They kind of have to design it so that you can avoid it without any profession mechanics, just dodge rolls and WS and D, because they can't trust that players build that stuff. I guess they can trust that you have Sahoth in evades, so they could make it a little bit more challenging. But me with full counter here is, you know, going above, even though it's never proccing, apparently. Probably because I'm on NA. So here he's got Trail of Embers. He leaves fire behind him, damaging foes. That's fine. Aurene giving me more upgrades. This is honestly so much easier than doing this solo on a Sword Weaver. Honestly, solo on a Sword Weaver with like offensive stats, it's like night and day difference between these two things. So we can use the 5 here. That full counter still doesn't work. He's moving a little, but he's still in range. That was a beautiful dodge, if I do say so myself. Move back in. Use the 4.
I'll die before I let you hurt her again.
Okay, so we get the combo again. Oh, no. This one, we've got a free Aurene. Similar to how she freed us from Balthazar's cage before, we free her this time. Look at that. So the pre-thing for the big burn phase. Oh, no, wrong way. Bull's Rush, get in there, man. Is we're saving each other from that mechanic. That's a bit like what Bram did with Joko. Pulling out of that, obviously. I was dodging! Arrgh! There, we got that one. That's fine. I wonder if his attack sequence increases here. That full counter's not going to... I wasn't in that! Oh. Oh, so she gives me barrier, does she? It's barrier that she gives. That's cool. It's another big feature of POF. It's nice to see that they add that in there. We're going to just play it easy for a second. There you go. Combat break. Why would I break combat there? That's absurd. Why am I not in combat? What? Okay, there we go. What's Aurene doing here with the bubble? Is this a shield? Dragon's Rage. You share Aurene's power. Gain 5% outgoing damage and invulnerability, I think that said. Oh, no, it's still on me. Up to 8 stacks. Remaining near Aurene while gaining stacks gains invuln. Oh, man, there needs to be more combo fights with Aurene. The end of the Living World season, if there is more Aurene fights, they got to do more of this. They got a lot of cool little pieces to this. Look how cool that is. Asking players to stop and read tooltips mid-fight is never good, though. This stuff should be taught before we get to the boss fight. I tried to full counter after Ivis there, but the after cast on it was too great. I need to actually focus. Let's grab some barrier and hide in the... Oh, he charged me out of it. That was cool. Let's get more power from her. 4 stacks. 5, 6, 7, 8 stacks. 8? No, there was no 8 stacks. Okay, so the flame hammer, what does this do? Nothing, it just insta-breaks. I don't know what the mechanic is. Sorry, I killed that one with a dodge roll. Warrior things, everybody. Interrupted Signet of Rage. Dodge into that one. When did shockwaves first become a thing in Guild Wars? I can't remember anymore. Tech, wasn't it? It was Tequatl. Yeah. What an update. Go back in the middle again. Get our stacks back, I guess. Has he gained damage resistance, do you think? Can I full counter while invuln? I can. We got 12k crit there. Okay, he's invuln. This is a phase. Alright, God of War prefers to win. I like that you prefer to fight instants. It's like when someone calls you a noob in PvP because you beat them. It's like, you prefer to fight noobs? There you go. Alright, let's burn him. Oh, really? No! Oh, he created the generator. Notice the field is getting smaller as well. Got some Desmina style stuff here. I'm full countering the impact there and standing in the middle so that I don't then also have to dodge the shockwave afterwards. There I was dodging. You're not even seeing the endurance go down. Tried to WASD out of that. We're so sturdy, it's unbelievable. It's interesting that there was no challenge moat here either, or nightmare moat.
The Dragon Slayer now claim to be their champion.
I can fix what I've done, but only if Krakatork lives.
No, but you started so much. I will finish.
Let's do this, because I fucked up several times. What? I should be invulnerable next to her. What? I messed up several times in a row there, like really badly. Gonna have to jump that because I don't have the endurance, and I'm not sure whether a full counter does it. Oh, no. No, no, no. I used the 5. I should have full countered. Will Aurene heal me? I can't believe I've gone down here. I honestly fucked up and played so badly so many times in a row there. Oh, I wish they'd make me go back to the start of the fight if I do that. It's so annoying that it's just meaningless if I mess up. Honestly, there were like 4 or 5 things in a row I just didn't do right.
The gods have abandoned this world. Abandoned you.
No, they abandoned you.
That's a cool line. It's basically true. They did abandon him. Another generator. I'm trying to go slow as well a lot of the time, just in case there's more audio. Because there's a really good line about the gods that I know is coming up that I don't want to miss by DPSing too hard. Let's jump one of those, finally. Anything else? And yeah, I like how the dialogue here kind of shows how easily we could have been allies, you know.
Still standing.
That's also very cool. They got a lot of good lines. And they don't come across cheesy because it's genuinely intense because the gameplay, because of the Ludo narrative. Yeah. There you go, using my new terms. Can step in that deliberately. Dodge that. Alright, we've got to be really careful. It must be 5% his last line is, and we have to let it roll. Get another shield generator. No more Aurene combos.
No!
This one I'm full counter in the middle.
I am a god! Curse you, Dwayna!
Alright, let's free her.
Melandru! Betraying one of your own! Grunt! Cormier! May the fires take you all!
Oh, he wipes us! Really? I didn't know that they had a mechanic. I was really curious what would happen there. That was almost really cheesy and bad, because if he doesn't kill you and you don't feel threatened, it is really silly. So yeah, the reason why that's important is because he curses all of the gods, but not Lissa. Yeah? That's the point. This is another thing where it's like there's all these little things in Path of Fire where it's like, well, hold on. Lissa seems a bit separate. It seems like something might be going on here. So I wonder what their reset phase is here. He had the fire grab icon on him there. Alright, Aurene wants to share her powers. It's good that they wipe you with that, because you should, I mean... There should be an actual time. I wonder if he wipes you on all the previous ones as well. That was annoying. That wave was perfectly poorly done for me. Oh. I'm so bad at these shockwaves today. Oh my god. Alright, there you go. So he curses them. We free Aurene. We come over. And this is it.
Commander, are you okay?
Where's Balthazar?
Dead. Balthazar was determined to kill an Elder Dragon, and we stopped him. The world is safe, for now.
Is Aurene okay?
She saved my life. Then she ran off. Probably not safe to stay here. We should meet up back in Amnoon to discuss what to do next.
See you back in Amnoon.
Yeah, so your allies and Dragon's Watch are like handled really badly, I think, in the last instance. It's like, oh, they maybe sort of did something. They show up right at the end. The devs don't try to hide it, though. Oh, that's another cool thing, by the way. I think the devs want us to feel really good about Balthazar's like the leader of Dragon's Watch. It's like we all have that memory very recently of being at Bitterfrost and just coming up with Dragon's Watch as a name. And now there's a god that knows the name of that guild. And like, that's kind of a cool thing, I think. So there you go.
Better than moving.
That's the end. I think I might have missed a little bit of Aurene's animation here when she's grabbing a ton of the magic. But yeah, so Aurene takes some of Balthazar's Bloodstone magic, and Kralkatorix shares it as well. That's how Aurene starts becoming a bit adolescent. Someone said in chat, I can't believe they used the final boss fight in the trailer. Yeah, I find something kind of gross about that as well, but I understand it, given the scope of these expansions and what they actually have to deal with and play with. But yeah, I mean, it's cool, isn't it? And we get a little bit more out of Kralkatoric's design and detail as he flies off. I don't know. It might sound like I'm not being appreciative enough of how cool this is, but there's just not much more I can say other than that I think it's really fantastic cinematography-wise, and like the visual elements of this instance are brilliant, you know. So yeah, there you go, and that's the conclusion. There's so much to take in here. If you can imagine, when I played this within like a day, I still haven't even fully sat down and chewed on all the Cormyr stuff and all the going to the Domain of the Lost. And then all of a sudden you do like one mission that takes you, one story step that takes you through all the desolation, and then you're done. And it's just like, whoa, like, fuck, it's great, but how much depth did we get here, there, and everywhere? There's so much to deal with, you know. So there is an epilogue, and we will do that here on this stream. And next stream, we will have even more story, and we'll be looking at Vabi and the fallout of all of that. Sad to how you have no allies with you. A callback to Nightfall. I mean, I don't know. Nightfall, there were definite elements of loneliness and being separated, and especially when you look at Cormyr's version of the story, there's a ton of that. But you never fight alone, you know, and the idea that we have a lot of allies was really paying off at the end, I think. So yeah. All right, a small victory, epilogue.
Hi, Outlander.
Story review like Heart of Thorns? You're looking at it, man.
The Sunspear in public. Well, their alliance with Amnoon must be going well.
Hey!
I wouldn't be saying anything in a video like that that's any more profound or interesting or in depth than I have on these streams. I've spent how long is this series so far? It's got to be at least 20 hours.
I decided to take a break from the lab and get back out in the field. I'm here to give you guys a hand and hopefully poke some stuff. Of course, I'm sure old Flunt and his flunky squad are probably combing through my dragon lab as we speak. Anyway, Jory and I hitched a ride with Captain Keel and some trade envoys in her slow, floaty airship. This place really needs an Asura gate.
Timey! Balthazar's dead.
I heard! Congratulations! So what do we call you now? Dragon Slayer or God Stomper or what?
Timey, focus. When Balthazar died, Kralkatoric absorbed most of his freed energy. Kralkatoric's even stronger and more dangerous than ever.
Oh boy, that could seriously accelerate the Elder Dragon imbalance. I should run some worst-case hypotheticals right away. You're lucky I'm here. And good thing I've got everything I need right here in Mobile Lab Scruffy 2.0.
Excuse me, Commander. Chief Counselor Amon requests your presence inside for a small celebration to honor your victory.
Sounds like someone's gotta go take a bow.
Thank you.
She's waiting for you now in the town square, sir. Everyone is.
No rest for the heroic.
Timey, I'll go say a quick hello to the counselor, then we can meet on the docks. I'll catch you up on everything there.
You got it, God Stomper.
All right. Okay. Yes. Why Timey doesn't talk about all the supposedly interesting things she learned during the chase sequence, I don't know. 2, yeah, it's really cool we get an epilogue because Heart of Thorns didn't have an epilogue. 3, Jules, yeah, I agree. The Aurene combos are really good because it shows through mechanics how strong she is. Yeah. Oh my God, really? What?
In matters like these, things are not always as they first appear. Hi, Commander. We heard the great news about Balthazar. I hope you don't mind my arranging this little celebration of your victory.
It's an impressive gathering, Counselor, but my crew and I really must rest.
Of course, I'm certain killing gods must be exhausting work, but I can't in good conscience let Amnoon's heroes leave until you've all been fed, fawned over, and properly feted.
Perhaps just for a moment.
Grand Vizier, this is the Commander. The hero who led the awakened troops to their stunning victory over Balthazar.
What? No! Archon Ibaru led the awakened. I spoke with him personally.
I don't know this Archon, Grand Vizier, but I assure you that I'm the one to whom you entrusted your benevolent leader's armies. When the truth about this victory is told to King Joko, I promise your name will come up as well.
Oh no. Oh, no. Excuse me, I must go. Now.
He hasn't appeared in Living World yet, has he?
That's odd, and a bit worrisome. Urumishi may be a servile little weasel, but He moves in the highest echelons of Joko's government. But no, I won't let dark thoughts of that Lich King ruin this celebration. Today is about you, your companions, and your glorious victory.
Actually, Counselor, I need to tell you the truth about what happened to Kodash.
No. Save your honesty for another day. It's been too long since this city, since these people have had anything to celebrate, or heroes to embrace. They need this. They need you. In fact, citizens of Amnoon, raise your glasses in toast to our heroes who delivered us from Balthazar and restored peace to our city.
Yeah! Cheers!
Yes! Here!
Speech! Speech!
Yes, Commander. Those who owe you their lives want to hear all about your momentous victory. Or, if you'd rather take a few moments to relax, mingle, and enjoy the moment first, you can take the stage whenever you're ready.
I can put effects volume up because there's no combat here, so we can get a good audio experience.
You think before you guys pack up and head home, you with many trade, I can't help wondering if there's not some hidden price tag.
I'm not sure what you mean. Surely one can offer humanitarian aid without being suspected of ulterior motives. Mind you, I think we both recognize the full, occasionally unspoken slate of opportunities here for both Amnoon and Lion's Arch.
We do. But suppose I were to tell you that certain parties identified your captain's council as a potentially troublesome trade partner.
How strange. That's what the consortium said about you. That is, if we're talking about the same certain parties.
I see. Well, I suppose trust must begin somewhere.
I'm sure we can come to a mutually beneficial agreement.
Perhaps we can discuss this further here in my office, over a fine Elonian wine, Captain Kiel.
Or, better yet, back in my office, over a bottle from the Eldvin Monastery Vineyards.
Oh, my. Are you married, Captain?
Please, call me Ellen.
Why haven't we seen this story either? Why haven't we seen them wooing one another and, you know, putting a ring on it? Alright, yeah, so Utamishi doesn't appear, but maybe was one of the champions in the fun rooms or whatever. I don't know, it just feels like POF had some cool ideas for what it could talk about with Joko's government and stuff, and now I'm a bit scared that it's over and we won't get that. But yeah, okay, so there's a ton of people to talk to. Somebody just did...
I doubt you remember me, but I was in the pyramid the day you arrived, when the Forged attacked. I never got to thank you, so thank you.
So I'm not going to go on some massive long conversation about every little piece of this instance because it would just take too long. You guys are just intelligent adults. We all know what we think about where it's good and where it's bad. But I do want to go to the Mount Traders.
Of all the gods, I've always liked Balthazar least. Maybe it was the beard. Anyway, I'm glad he's dead. Good choice.
And another thing, I will compliment the mixing of dialogue that just fires in your face when you walk near people with dialogue that you specifically trigger. It makes it feel alive, like an actual party. Like, it's not all the dialogue is purely under your control. The really consequential stuff is, but then other stuff just fires and it just feels like there's a vibe going on.
Or what makes them the superior mount?
Well, my raptors may not glow in the dark, but they can run circles around those sluggish sand dogs of yours.
Speed may be important in a bustling city, but once you venture into the real world of quicksand and toxic bogs, the skimmer is king.
But you gotta admit, there's no mount cuter or fluffier than my springers.
That's true. Can't argue with you there.
Which makes your springers ideal for anyone harvesting pelts.
What?
So, change your topic then?
So, yeah, this is easy to miss. And the first time I played this, I did miss this. Shame those raptors are clipping into one another. But, yeah, there's some extra dialogue you can get here. This is where you find out that... Oh, it's not where you find out, is it? We already knew. But, yeah, anyway, so look, let's have a look. Springer Trainer. You don't actually think he'd harvest my springers for their fur, do you? Magnificent springer you've got there. Isn't he? Those strong legs, his soft fur. My favorite is how he wiggles his nose at me. How are things at the ranch? Well, there's always work to be done, but Unja does a good job for a girl her age. She'll make a fine trainer when she's older. Remember, there's a little girl running the ranch, right? What made you want to be a springer trainer? All it took was one single ride and one with my mother. After that, I was hooked. So we get a little bit of springer lore. Tassa here. Outlander, you're back. Hey, thanks for the raptor again. You bet it. And the other guy says, Axim, he says, it's the least we could do. I know you'll take care of her. How's the village? We're recovering, rebuilding. Balthazar may have taken those we lost, but at least we can look to the future. I only wish I could have seen you smite him. I'd love to spit on his bones. There's nothing left to spit on, we say. Then I'll curse his name, she says. Enjoying the party? After all we've been through? Not really. I mean, the food's decent, and it's nice seeing everyone let down their hair, but I'm just not in the partying mood. Sorry, Outlander. All right, no apologies necessary. So yeah, we get that. Then there's something about Axim, and like I have a weird sense of nostalgia already for POF and the early parts of POF that I don't have for the later parts of POF. It's very odd. It's not even been a full year yet, and I've just got all these different layers of like feelings towards POF. Anyway, Strainer Kofi.
Allow me to offer my most sincerest congratulations to you. We owe you so very much.
Nice skimmer you've got there. We're such a drone. We just say, nice pet, and they all eat it up. We raise nothing but the finest mounts in the land.
As I'm sure you've already noticed.
This young lady here is my pride and joy. How are things at your ranch? Running perfectly smoothly for the most part. Ardra manages the day-to-day, along with some help from our ranch hands. You should visit her sometime if you haven't already. I love the idea that the devs thought that the mount acquisition areas could be like recurring hubs for players. Like you'd go there each day to get a new treat, to get a bit more experience each day, so that slowly you'd power up your mount and forge a closer bond with it. And there's all these cool ideas that just evaporate because they were too scared of like long-term goals. I hope you're enjoying the party. Indeed I am. Nothing like a little wine and song to celebrate your victory. Champion Jackal Trainer Itus. Tell me, traveler, have you finally accepted the superiority of the Jackal? I have indeed. Alright, well no, convince me. Jackals can travel through rifts. Springers can't. Where can I find the Jackal camp? Sand Jackal Run in the southwest of the Desolation. This dialogue's really placeholder. We can't even say yes or no again. Well, I guess that makes sense. ArenaNet published a bar chart for the decisions made in this story. A bar chart? Oh, showing who picked what. That's kind of cool. This feeling of nostalgia is because of the invalidation of the content. You know that these maps will never be touched again by the devs, and these characters and these places and stuff. Maybe you're right. I mean, I'm not going into a big character-bound advocacy discussion. All right, so what we got? A veteran Choya chief standing by the desk. How do I do that loudly to you all? Beep boop. The Choya looks confused. Puka puka. Puka puka puka. Air. Beep boop. The Choya looks confused. What? Alright, there you go. That's it. I'm done. There's nothing else I can get. And then I sigh. Alright, we're out. Ritlock is not optional dialogue, so I'm not going to do that. Hello, Priestess Karima.
You are the light that pierces. What may I do for you, Outlander?
How are things at the refugee camp?
Though the fighting will eventually subside, its effects will remain long after. War is a terrible beast.
I suppose you heard about Balthazar.
A necessary casualty. If what I heard was true, he fell from grace. Cormier herself could not save him.
I like the idea that there should be some Zaishin here or something. You're doing great work.
I'm only doing what is right and what is necessary. It is what Cormier would have wanted. Yes, Casimir told me that our goddess has left. Please, don't ask me how I feel about it.
There you go. That's it. That's that lady. Oh, hi, stranger. It's been too long. Cormier knows we've been through the underworld and back. You literally, and me figuratively. Happy to see you're still standing, Nareem. You're not the only one. How I've kept my hide intact despite all efforts to the contrary is a feat Cormier herself should be proud of. Speaking of Cormier, shh, quiet. Casimir told me, but we don't want everyone to know yet. I'm still wrestling with the fact that she's gone, that they're gone, that they're all gone, sorry, I'm reading terribly, that the gods would leave us. Well, it's for a good reason. Is it? Why does the commander know that? Pfft, I don't like this. I don't like that devs doing that, forcing us to take that stance almost, just because they're fearful of criticism that the story direction wouldn't be well received. I'm not one to question the gods, but I can't help but feel like they've abandoned us. Then again, I've been fighting solo for most of my life, so I suppose I've done without them just fine. So what will you do now? The same thing I've been doing for years. Defending those who can't defend themselves. Something we have in common, right? Yes, happy to see you all standing. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there's so much, like, extra lore and world building we could get based on the fallout of the god information, which the living world hasn't done either. There needs to be so much more. Interactables in the environment, storybooks everywhere, just dealing with as much of this as possible. There's just so much. Anyway, you again. When I heard about your ordeals, I was half convinced I'd seen the last of you. Glad to know I was wrong. Your advice helped. Sure thing, I may not have all the answers, but I know where to look, who to talk to. Kai's turned out to be quite useful in the end. He's not so bad. I occasionally have to question his loyalty, but he comes through when I need him. Have things finally calmed down? At the gates? A little. Balthazar's defeat has brought some relief, but although Amnoon's alliance with the Sunspears... oh my god, I'm trying to burp while speaking. But although suppress a burp while speaking. Although Amnoon's alliance with the Sunspears has inspired some, others are apprehensive, and there is much to rebuild. Your advice helped. Sure thing, I may not have all the answers, but I know where to look, who to talk to. This is weird doing him in the epilogue, because it makes it feel like it was a much bigger part of the plot than it was in the end, when in reality it was about 30 seconds of gameplay. Which is another area where it feels like Guild Wars doesn't quite get as expansive as it could or should have. Everyone's waiting to hear from the hero of Kadash. Have you prepared your speech yet? No pressure. I'm a little bit nervous. Don't be. At this point, you've seen it all, done it all. How many here can claim to have bested a god? Brought peace to the region. Have a little confidence in yourself. Why did you ask for my help earlier? Sometimes an outside opinion can bring sanity to an otherwise maddening debate. We take care of our own problems here, but sometimes it's nice to get a fresh perspective. And are you happy with the outcome? We're all eager to hear from the hero. Is your speech ready? Between you and me, I wouldn't mention Amnoon's alliance with Cormier's priesthood. There are differing opinions. This is a bit off, isn't it? Their response to what the question was that was asked. It's like the same subject material, but it's couched incorrectly. Thanks for the party. You deserve it for all you've done. Now quit yammering and speak to these people. They're waiting. No, I've got lots more yammering to do. Oh, no.
I know you've killed dragons and a god and whatever, but I still bet I could take you. I'm pretty sure.
He's just a troublemaker. That's funny.
I hope my daughter grows up to be just like you.
Oh, she will be. She will be. Natalie's everywhere. After what I have done, there will be so many little girls called Natalie throughout the year 1331 AE. Okay, so we get Keto. Hello. Of Shadows. I want to talk to you about an interesting missive I heard, dude. You're a shady man. I'm glad this is a victory party and not a funeral procession, though the food might be better at the latter. Where are your scruples? Had I lost against Balthazar, there'd be a lot more burials. Very true. I'm sure you already know that we're grateful for your efforts. The Order of Shadows doesn't regret its role in your success. Thanks for all your help. Don't mention it. In fact, don't ever mention it to anyone. We've never met. Understand? I get it. Spy stuff, right? I can't tell if you're being serious or just obtuse. Either way, I'm glad we had this chat. See you around. You never told me much about your order. That's on a need-to-know basis. And right now, you don't need to know anything more than we've told you already. But there may come a time where we'll collaborate again. Until then, be well. I like this. The devs acknowledging that they didn't give us much on a facet of the game is important. Thanks for your help. There you go. So yeah, he's out. Peace out, Keto, until episode 1, Girl Scout. All right, and finally we got Keel, who started this all off, and I think it's cool that she's here. Commander, congratulations on the success of your mission. I always knew you'd prevail. What are you doing here? A little male bird told me of your victory, so I thought I'd fly down and congratulate you myself. This kind of shit makes the world feel really small, but hey. Amnoon is even more beautiful than I'd heard. I just might take some time off to enjoy the sights. How are things back at Lion's Arch? Thanks to your efforts, I imagine we'll be seeing fewer refugees arriving at our ports. Most of them will want to return here, but LA is magnetic. Some will make it their new home. Well, yeah, Lion's Arch is a melting pot. We welcome all. It's what makes us strong. I don't like this rhetoric. This does not align with my worldview. I see you've met Zan Burr. Indeed she has. And Ellen and I have much to discuss. Trade opportunities, partnerships, dinner reservations. On that note, if you'll excuse us. Wow. So they're gonna go get something good to eat. This is making me hungry. I wonder what they're having. Oh, and speaking of hungry, here's the chef. Who did the mastery point, which we did once and we'll probably forget about in subsequent years. Sous Chef, while you were out saving the desert, I had to make all the food for the party by myself. But I suppose I should still thank you. Now go away, I'm too tired for chit-chat. Try to enjoy the party, or not. There you go, boom. I like that because this is one of the first masteries people will have done in POF, so they'll remember him. And the idea that we were signed on as a sous chef and then just ran off.
Hero up close before.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, right? Tall, muscular, intimidating. It's pretty good. All right, so yeah, let's talk about this. Ritlock calling from the corner saying, speech. That's so like, I don't know why, but I really like the thought of a Char doing that. And particularly Ritlock. Hello, dude.
As soon as I'm finished with this speech, thank you for encouraging them. We've got to gather everyone up and find Aureen.
Yeah, it's embarrassing to think that Dragon's Watch has been reduced to dragon babysitting.
You saw what happened when Balthazar died. Now we've got to go deal with an enraged, unpredictable Elder Dragon.
All due respect, Commander. That's all I've wanted to do from the start.
Well, you're about to get your wish. I just have to figure out what I should tell these people first. Any advice?
What did Canuck say?
I haven't spoken to him yet. Why?
I just wanted to know which one of us you came to first.
Seriously?
Well, I think you have to tell them the truth.
That the gods have abandoned them, that killing Balthazar backfired, and now there's a riled-up crystal dragon somewhere on the horizon?
Listen, if Kralkatorix shows his big scaly snout here, it'd be nice if these people were ready for it.
But then, maybe what these people really need is a brief moment of hope and happiness, before they go back to living every day in fear.
You've already talked to Casimir, haven't you?
Sorry, Tribune. I'm not saying.
All right, cool. We went to you first, Ritlock. Don't worry, you're my main bro. You guys were telling me about food, and yeah, it's cool that they have Ritlock talking about the babysitting thing, which players have expressed annoyance over. This table has a wide assortment of fresh seafood. Man, good fresh seafood. What do we want? Oh, we gotta have the extra fermented Orion gulper because it sounds Tyrion. The flavor is so intense, it's like a punch in the mouth, and we get knocked over. That's awesome. Try the tilapia. It's delicious if heavily seasoned with local spices and hints of citrus. Where's my buffer, Renanet? Try the raw shellfish. That was very slimy. Oh, what's over on this table? There are all sorts of drinks here. Some local, some imported. Ooh. A frozen orange-colored drink. Oh, no, we get a buff. Wait, what was that? It said frozen and it had a weird icon. This is an icy dessert drink made of mostly apricot, juice, and ice. The sudden shock of cold gives you brain freeze. Frozen, unable to use skills or move. It's like a new version of CC, guys. Oh, look, we are frozen. Dude, oh no, we're not. It was because I was walking. Wow. That's interesting and weird. Try the... That's like personal story levels of weird, like... Anyway, try the Elonian wine. An elegant white wine with a distinctly floral taste. Though not too sweet, the flavor is rich and full, evoking thoughts of pastry dough and buttery breads. Is it possible for a wine to taste like that? I'll have some pastry wine. Hell yeah, man. Try the authentic Amnoon roast coffee.
Faster!
Oh, here you go. Swiftness. A weird version of swiftness for a few seconds. The sauce is drinks table. This is a strong and bitter coffee with bits of grain, like grinding raw coffee beans with your teeth. The caffeine gives you an instant energy rush. Wow, so nasty, but at least it gives me a high. Am I right, lads? And then we can try the mint tea. This tea is bright and refreshing, lightly sweet, and the mint is not overpowering. They're great at describing foods and stuff. Come on, cooking overhaul, baby. Ship of Theseus. I don't care if it changes. Oh, by the way, Farron here with no dialogue is because he's E and they just want an excuse for him to be in the know. Oh, he does have dialogue. But he didn't have a marker. What? How often have they done that? They have dialogue but no markers. Are you serious? Commander, good to see you. Congratulations on your victory. Though I imagine you'd have won the battle sooner with Swordmaster Farron at your side. No matter why he's randomly naked in this instance too is mental. But there you go. Enjoying the party? Undoubtedly. Have you sampled the Elonian wine yet? It's magnificent. There must be something about the soil and heat down here that gives it a unique body. And speaking of bodies, I see you're working on your tan. The sun here is amazing. It's night, bro. Though, once I've developed an even cover, I'll have to get to work on those pesky tan lines. Did you know of any noon beaches around Amnoon? It's nighttime. Maybe you should put some pants on. But that would thwart my tanning regimen. I need every ounce of sunlight. Amnoon can throw at me day or night. These rippling muscles and glistening chest hairs take a lot of work, I'll have you know. Wow. How are things back in LA? Just trying to make small talk, move away from the conversation of your body and package. It's a good thing I stayed behind. Yours truly was responsible for thwarting an organized theft of supplies. Imagine, without Lord Farron on the case, these refugees would have gone without tanning oil. Great. Well, there you go. So he does have dialogue. I don't know whether I got that the first time I played. Funny stuff. The devs did some streams where they talked about his inclusion. And obviously, yeah, people will have had a lot of fun looking at that. I will only be able to point out that fun from a disinterested, impartial, far away conversation, but still. This table contains a wide variety of fruits. Spiky, strange and spiky, flat and sliced, or hard and round? Hard and round? Oh, it's just an apple. I was expecting a zucchini. Strange, spiky fruit. It's green inside and tastes both tangy and sweet. And then lastly, flat and sliced. It's incredibly spicy. Your mouth is on fire. Amazing. Okay, what we got over here? Lady Casimir Mead.
Commander, good. We've got to get back out there and find Aureen.
And figure out what to do about Krakatoric. We just have to make a graceful exit from the celebration.
By the way, you're not considering telling these people everything that's happened, are you?
I don't know yet.
Please. I've spent a lot of time around these people. I'm not sure that they could handle the truth about the gods or the Elder Dragons. Not after all they've been through. Can't we just give them one day?
I suppose it is true the most immediate threat is gone.
Then let them keep singing and dancing and laughing. For today. Whatever tomorrow brings, we'll face it then.
Seems like saving the world used to be so much simpler.
Okay, I mean, I like that. Well, apparently there's another food table we missed, but this is just crates, so... I mean, I think I got all of them, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, but I think that is all of them. Unless I'm missing something major. Oh, no, there is one over here. Oh. Here you go, near the choir. This table contains different types of cactus. Some of it looks like it could be editable. Try some of it. The flavor's almost refreshing, if a bit bland. There doesn't seem to be any ill effects. The choir chief looks a little upset, however. Oh, I'm sorry. What, because I ate it? Is it standing there because it doesn't want me eating its brethren, or because I didn't enjoy eating its brethren? There's another one over here as well. This table hosts an eclectic mix of dishes. Oh my god, hummus. Oh, give it to me. The dip is slightly spicy with a smooth but complex flavor. It goes well with flatbread. Try the candied flower petals. They weren't sweet at all. Maybe they were just meant to be decorative. Leave quickly. Try the stuffed meat. Whatever that was, it was delicious. Incredible. Simply stunning. What was that? A troublemaker says fabulous, isn't it? It's a regional delicacy. Very popular for parties and gatherings. Stuffed sad harvest spleen. So this is basically... What, are they doing a riff on haggis? Interesting. I got stunned from eating it. I'm stunned it was so tasty. Stunned and regenerated. Wow.
For the last time, I am not a grouchy cactus man, nor am I a giant talking choya. You urchins have the manners of a fifth-born.
That's kind of cool. Did they run off and say anything? No, that's a shame. I like how Elonian's words compare Sylvari to Choya. All right, Kanak.
This celebration, it's all wrong.
Tell me about it. They closed the casino for this little soiree, so I can't collect for my wager on you until tomorrow. Which means I'm stuck in this haven for giddy, singing, dancing humans for at least one more day. We Sylvari are not, by and large, a giddy folk.
We'll be out of here soon enough.
Really? Unless I misheard, don't you have a speaking engagement first?
Believe me, I considered just sneaking out, but I'm convinced Counselor Iman would just hunt me down.
Might I suggest, when you do speak, that you avoid giving them the whole frightful truth while they're in such a party mood. On the other hand, I would also be wary of painting too rosy a picture. No reason to encourage their delusions of safety. We want them to stop this frivolous behavior and return to their senses when the morning comes. Just keep it vague. Nothing to get people too worked up either way.
You just don't want them to close the casino again tomorrow.
In my defense, it was a substantial wager.
Honestly, I'm not sure what I'll tell them. I just want to get it over with so we can turn our attention back to Aurene and Krakatorik.
Commander, the crowd is getting restless. It's time to take the stage.
All right, look, they're all moving. They're getting ready. All right, Twitch. You are going to be able to decide how this goes. Okay? So, very simply, what's going to happen is each time we get an option, the first person in chat to tell me what to pick, while also including on their message a numeric code that I give, will be the person who picks it. So basically, this is going to go up. We'll get the option. I'll say the code is 88, and then you guys type 88 Somber and press enter. The first person to get it picks, okay? So that's the way that we do it. But you have to get the right code in the same message. So get ready, refresh the stream if you've got a bit of stream delay. Let's do it. And we'll see how Twitch does this.
People of Amnoon, please open your hearts and prick up your ears for the warrior who stood toe-to-toe with a wrathful god. And how?
Dude, Whitlock's badass. That's cool. So they're all cheering. Begin your speech with a statement that is upbeat, vague, or somber. The code is 71. The orange palms. Don't you judge my orange palms. All right. Once you say you've missed it, you can stop the spam. So, Jules did get the correct code and first, but is trying to tell me to do the way to go all the way. He says somber and negative only. But the next person to be perfect with their response was Obco, who said vague 71. So vague is the first response.
You call us heroes, but while you honor us, the truth is, this victory belongs to all of you. Balthazar betrayed everyone who revered him. Even the other gods rejected him. But you, all of you, stood up to him. And the four of us, all we did was finish the fight you started. Put an end to the nightmare.
Speak up!
Kanak in the corner. I don't know if you guys heard that, but way off in the corner, just very silently, he's like, oh, good start. I love that. This is so good, honestly. The devs are 10 out of 10 with some of this. The quantity is too low. Can you imagine if there were lots of sections like this? Continue with your speech with a statement that is upbeat, vague, or somber. The code is 1,300. And one. No, I'm joking. Not the last bit. It's just 1,300. I love how chat is so quiet waiting for it now because everyone's getting ready. So, Jules won this time with Somber. So, this isn't going to go very well. Here we go.
Before she left, Cormyr warned that killing Balthazar would lead to disaster. But we had no choice. Sadly, we now know she was right. The Elder Dragon who left a noxious scar across Ascalon still lives. And Balthazar's death made Kralkatorrik stronger and more dangerous than ever before. Which means that out there somewhere, just beyond your city walls, is a flying horror determined to finish what it started so many years ago.
Jesus, that was brutal! Britlock, you're all welcome, by the way. Wait, so we're not gonna be okay? Oh no, oh, what the hell? Something's... Wow. Alright. Jesus. He's such an ass. Yeah, that's mental. Alright, last one now. Upbeat, vague, or somber Twitch chat. Jules, you're disqualified because I don't want the same person winning over and over and over. But to everyone else, we will close our speech on a note that is what? The code is 2. All right, I'm scrolling. Okay, so the winner was Alex Bush 01, who says upbeat with 2. It seems like the crowd favorite there, by the way, was Somber. You guys all wanted to really bum them out, but upbeat was the end. So here we go.
So, by all means, celebrate. Enjoy this moment.
That doesn't work.
For as of now, this world belongs to us. Not gods, not dragons, not awakened or forged or branded. To us, Elonians, Tyrians, Canthans. The world is changing. We, all of us, are the ones who are changing it. And woe to any who would stand in our way. So, a toast. Many challenges lie ahead, but may every battle lead to victory. And every victory to celebration. Thank you.
So are we safe now or not? Such an inspiring speech. I'm just brimming with optimism about what good things tomorrow might bring.
Chief Counselor, you and I should talk sometime before I leave.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Now that you've convinced them the world is in absolutely no danger, why not join us outside? So we can figure out how to keep it from exploding into a million pieces.
Alright, yeah, apparently bacon's all mine. Got it, and I missed it. There's a lot of messages, alright? I guess he was above someone else that had done it, so yeah, that's a shame. But yeah, okay. Alright, there you go. That was how we did it. Listen, there'll be another stream on the story tomorrow, so we can do another variant tomorrow. It's easy to restart this instance. It's not a problem at all. So there you go. That's the speech. And the closing moments of POF are right here. Great epilogue. It's really weird seeing Tiny again after so long, by the way.
Next? I filled Timey in on everything that happened with Balthazar, Kralkatorrik, and Aurene.
First of all, about my killing Balthazar.
You did what you had to do to save Aurene and yourself.
And if it weren't for you, Commander, none of those people at that party would be alive right now.
That's rather faint praise.
Well, first thing we have to do is find Aurene.
First thing is to hunt down Kralkatorrik.
Neither of those will help until we find out how to replace Elder Dragons.
And, as usual, we'll probably end up having to protect all those innocent idiots who don't know how to stay out of harm's way.
all thinking it, so I'll just come out and say it. Should we try one more time to get all of Dragon's Watch together?
After all this time, do you even know where everyone is?
Well, one of them is right here.
Jory!
Kaz, thank the gods you're okay. Canuck told me what happened with Balthazar.
I was so afraid I'd never get to see you again. To tell you that I am so sorry about the way we left things.
I know. Me too.
I hate to interrupt, but did anybody feel that?
Feel what?
Oh dear.
Tell me this is just normal desert stuff.
And so, it begins.
Sun Spears aren't much of an army, but they are an inspiration.
Anything is better
And
than
there we
relying on
go.
Joko.
We are done. So that was the stinger of POF. It's kind of interesting looking back 3 episodes into Living World Season 4 now. They put Marjorie back in at the end of that, and then she's had no role or relevance. Or has she? What's she done this season? Has she done anything this season? Maybe she did a little something in episode 1 or 2. Maybe? I can't remember. But, yeah, and then the big assault on Amnoon and, like, what the state of that was. Back when the game came out, we weren't sure whether Amnoon had been completely destroyed or what, and then it just turned out to be the instance at the start of Season 3, and, you know, there's all those little things. Any idea how old dragons have to be before they speak? I don't think there's really a rule or a law for that, because communicating dragons, I mean, when we open up Canthan lore, there's a whole ton of that, but I don't know, it's the whole communicating a lot with Glint and stuff was really because of her telepathy and stuff, but there's not much lore, really. I don't remember if we ever spoke to Rotscale. Various salt sprays, Kunavang, obviously, yes. But yeah, the idea that Jory is Casimir is a worse character when Marjorie's not around. When Marjorie is around, I can kind of get. I don't know. That's true with anything though. Whenever you put characters in relationships, they get really boring really quickly. So I don't know. And it's very, very difficult. I think one of the hardest things to do in script writing is to keep characters interesting once you romantically pair them off and make that the be all and end all. Like, being able to juggle the two is hard. Especially when you have action-oriented backdrops. All right. Okay, so there you go. That's the story as we know it so far. Now, I've been asked a few times in chat by Trevard here to do the upgrade for the Guild Wars 2 for the Spud 2 haul. So we'll do another one of those. I did spend a ton of favor last night or the night before. And hold on, aren't we missing something? What about the Devourer coming to life? Where's that? Did we just see that? Hold on, seriously, chat. Wasn't there a thing about a Devourer being a dead Devourer becoming branded, showing that Kraukatorix got a new realm sort of thing? Wasn't that a thing? Oh, it was there. We saw it. It was in the cutscene. Oh, okay, all right. I must have just zoned out somehow. All right, that's fine. Yeah, so we saw that. And there's one final always time for Timey to do now, which I've never heard, which is to do with Flunt and stuff. But we'll do that, and that's like a bonus Easter egg at the end. We will do that on tomorrow's stream, where there'll be more story and stuff. It will be everything we were presented in Vabby, and what we can salvage out of the Griffin quest chain, which I think is heavily account bound, and we may get sweet fuck all, but we'll see. Holy crap, someone in Spud 2's been depositing PvP potions. You're a legend. Whoever's been doing that, you're a better man than me. Wow, that means we can get these. So mission slot for the weekly. Unlock a weekly mission slot that will only generate PvP-oriented missions and is unaffected by the guild's mission preference. So this costs 50 PvP rewards, so amazing stuff. 300 leather section, 100 bots of silk, 25 ecto, 15 custom arena time tokens, 50 bloods, 50 fangs, 50 venom sacks. Boom. And holy crap, we've even got this ready as well. The guild enhancement, the PvP reward boost. Add a personal enhancement at the tavern that increases the rate at which PvP reward tracks progress. So this costs some black pepper cactus salad, 10 Alonian wine, PvP rewards, mystic crystals, glass mugs, empty kegs, and potent blood with a bit more favor and Ethereum again as well. We've even got this. How many did you guys do? What? There's still 100 in the treasury. The green team. Add a green team to your arena, allowing for 3-way team brawling. We got to do more stuff with this soon. Emerald orbs, PvP potions, and planks with even more Ethereum. And now our Ethereum stock is emptied, so we cannot go any further. But the NA guild just hit level 23, and you guys should be very proud of that. That's awesome. That's a lot of upgrades we just got there. That's so good. Maestron, I opened 16 months of daily PvP boxes after I deposited the potions. You used over 1,200. Damn, dude. You must have wanted to save those for a festival, though, or something, when they add a new reward track and you can spam it, right? What if the Pavilion reward track is really rewarding? You might regret that. You can't wait for new Pavilion and Bazaar decorations on Tuesday. You wonder if we'll get statues of the bosses from Boss Blitz. That's awesome as well. I mean, more guild integration would be awesome. That's a good point. That means next weekend's streams we'll have some really fun stuff to show off. We'll have a tour of the Lost Precipice, and it's going to be good. What other things I really want to contribute? I mean, continuing this is cool. Mine stuff, as long as those are done as well, we can. But I get to the upgrade slow enough that mine really isn't gating us. I don't know. Just come here, have fun. You can speak to the GMs and use Spud 2 guild chat and check out Discord and have fun with people. They're more in tune with what's going on with the guild than I am on many levels, really. I want to provide the footage and this element of it, but yeah, like, there's a lot to be excited about in Spud 2 as well, by the way. Like, a lot. So, if you guys are interested, again, it's open for recruiting. The more, the better. We're looking for more activity. We're looking for more people. You guys are all welcome. There are instructions on how to join and how we operate, because it is quite a specific thing, and it's not easy to join in Discord. You can just join and check that out. And that, though, guys, is going to be the stream from me. I hope you enjoyed the Path of Fire playthrough. We'll have one final extra stream here. Hopefully, I'll take the time to playlist this all up on Wood and Potatoes 2, and it will eternally be there. There will be another variant of this that's even more, like, interesting and better produced at a later date when we have the Let's Play reaching here. So that is not everything, but for a while, this will be most of it. I'm going to host you now, so if you are new to Twitch, if you don't really know this, what I can do is, because we get tons of viewers, we get more viewers than anyone else on Guild Wars 2 Twitch, right? So I push the audience as a collective onto someone new who's trying to make it as a content creator and looks like they might deserve it, and we see how they feel, and it kind of blows people's minds to do it. So here's a guy who seems to want people to play. He only has one person watching him right now, a single person. So let's bomb him with hundreds on the greater part of 1,000 and see how he feels. So thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let's go watch that. Don't forget that when the host goes through, you can click a button above chat to go to his chat, and he'll be able to see your messages there. And yeah, catch you next time, guys. Tomorrow, same time, be there or be square. There might not be an announcement on YouTube or anything, so yeah. Cheers for all the follows. I'll see you guys next time.